real enjoyment, Brooklyn Dodger baseball. For real enjoyment, get Schaefer. It's real beer. Yes, sir. Here come the Dodgers. And this is Al Helper along with Vin Scully and Jerry Doggett inviting you to stay with us now as the league-leading Milwaukee Braves invade Ebbets Field. All the doings are sent your way with the compliments of the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of America's oldest lager beer, Schaefer. And also with the compliments of the American Tobacco Company, America's leading manufacturer of cigarettes on behalf of Lucky Strike, the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Now, as the game gets underway, for real enjoyment, have yourself a foaming glass of Schaefer. It's real beer. You want a glass of beer? Well, fine. You want a good glass of beer? You want a great glass of beer? Well, brother, then you want a glass of Schaefer beer. Schaefer's brewed for enjoyment. That's why. That's the whole story in a nutshell. Schaefer is brewed to give you all the enjoyment, all the light, zesty flavor, all the brilliant sparkle and zing you look for when you lift a glass of beer to your lips. And when you lift a glass of Schaefer, oh, man, it's sunlight on a drift of snow, cool and white and wonderful. You try it yourself, the very first time a thirst catches up with it. For real enjoyment, pour out a foaming glass of Schaefer. You'll see, it's real beer. Well, this afternoon we have a fine day for it at Ebbets Field. Sunshine, a little wind blowing in from behind right field, white fleecy clouds overhead, Emmett Kelly in attendance, everyone all ready to go. This is the game that people have been waiting for. The league-leading Milwaukee Braves, one game out in front of the Brooklyn Dodgers. They have won 12 and have lost 3. The Dodgers are 11-4. And a couple of right arms will be out there going this afternoon. Bob Buhl will pitch for the Milwaukee Braves, and the veteran Sal Maglie will be cranking them up for Brooklyn. For the Braves, Danny O'Connell will lead off. He'll be at second base. Hank Aaron will be the right fielder. Hitting third will be Matthews, the fence-busting third baseman. Then comes Big Joe Adcock, who, well, many times it's been said he should have to pay his way into Ebbets Field the way he hits here. Adcock will be at first base, and he'll be batting fourth. Hitting in the number 5 position, the young fellow from Staten Island, Bobby Thompson, will be the Milwaukee left fielder. Then comes Logan, very fine shortstop, hitting number 6 in the Braves order. Hitting 7th, their fleet-footed center fielder, Billy Bruton. The captain of the ball club, Del Crandall, will be behind the plate. He'll be doing the catching and hitting 8th. And the pitcher is Bob Buhl. Buhl won 7, lost 1 to Maglie of his 8 starts against the Dodgers last year, and also won once in relief. Although his lifetime record at Ebbets Field is 5-2, he has never pitched a complete game at this park in 9 starts. His 4 games completed against the Dodgers last year were all at Milwaukee. He has started twice this year. He's defeated the Cubs 9-4, and he lost to the Giants 4-0. So that's his record, 1 win and 1 loss. On the Brooklyn Dodgers side of the fence, Jim Gilliam will lead off. He'll be at second base. Gino Simoli will be the left fielder. Hitting third will be Duke Snyder in center field. Then comes Carl Furillo in right. He'll be batting number 4. Hodges will hit in the number 5 position. He'll be the first baseman. Roy Campanella will be the catcher this afternoon, and he'll be hitting 6th. Hitting 7th will be Zimmer at shortstop. Neal will be at 3rd, and Maglie will do the pitching. And we'll talk about Maglie right after we hear our national anthem.
Thank you.
playing of our national anthem, we're just a few moments away from the first pitch of this ball game. First meeting between the Milwaukee Braves and the Brooklyn Dodgers for the championship season. The umpire-in-chief behind the plate for this one will be Venson. Ballenfant will be at first, Tchaikovsky at second, and Crawford at third. And Maglie will be going out to the mound in just a moment. Maglie, who is 1-0 in 1957, had a 1.88 earned run average in 5 starts against the Braves back in '56. He won his first start against the Braves last season 3-0, and his last start was a 4-2 affair in which he beat the pitcher he'll be facing today, Bob Buhl. And he had 3 no-decision starts in between those 2 games. He's made 2 starts this year. He defeated Pittsburgh 6-1, being removed in the 6th inning against Chicago. He had no decision. So those are the 2 pitchers going here this afternoon, Bob Buhl and Sal Maglie. So the stage is set for a 2-day, 2-game series in which the number 1 position in the National League could well be determined, that is, for the time being. It'll be well to watch the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Milwaukee Braves throughout the season, along with the St. Louis Cardinals and Cincinnati Reds, because these 4 ball clubs apparently will be giving it quite a hustle for 1957. Always when the ball club comes in the first time to a ballpark, ground rules are discussed very thoroughly, and that's what's happening now. Thus the slight delay in the beginning of the ball game. But right now the Dodgers come charging out on the field, led by Zimmer, who goes charging off the shortstop. So we'll set them for you defensively. On the mound will be Sal Maglie with his 1-0 record. Behind the plate will be Roy Campanella. At first base, dependable Gil Hodges. At second, flashy Jim Gilliam. At shortstop, a determined Don Zimmer. And at third base, Charlie Neal, who's quite a riffle to stay on the infield slot. Out in left field, Gino Simole. And in center field is Duke Snyder. And right field is Carl Furillo. The ground rules are still being discussed with the umpires. Captain Reese down there explaining the ground rules very meticulously as Fred Haney listens along with the umpires. Taking station as a coacher down at third base is Ryan. At first base, we have Riddle. The Dodger bullpen crew moving off down behind right field where they'll take station, and everyone will be sitting around to see how Maglie's going to do this afternoon. The umpires, Messrs. Benzon, Ballenfant, Tchaikovsky, and Crawford, talking to Reese and manager Fred Haney. Now Benson has called the conference over. He'll be behind the plate this afternoon. Going down to first will be Ballenfant, the veteran of the group. Bill Tchaikovsky will take station at second. And Shag Crawford, who was a rookie umpire last year, will take station down behind third. Sal Maglie is throwing the last of his warm-up pitches down. The ball's being whipped around the Brooklyn infield. Tex Rickard announces the first man to come to the plate, and as that happens, we turn right around to a smiling redhead and say to him, for Schaefer Beer Vinny, how about the play-by-play?
All right, Al. Good afternoon, everybody, and a very pleasant day to you, wherever you may be. Maglie's first pitch to Danny O'Connell is promptly lined to center field for a clean single. Snyder takes it on a couple of tricky bounces, gets it back in, and the Braves start off on the right foot as O'Connell singles to center. Maglie, you remember, came up with a stiff neck when he was supposed to pitch against the Giants. That delayed it back, pushed it so that when he did start against Chicago, he was a little bit shaky with his control. He had to come out in the 6th inning, and the Dodgers are hoping that his control will return for him now, since it's such an important part of his pitching repertoire. He does not overpower hitters. Hank Aaron batting .388 as he steps in. Maglie's curve is cut on and whistled right up the middle. A clean base hit. Down to second goes O'Connell. The ball goes through Snyder, trickling to the wall. O'Connell is around third to score. By the time Snyder picks it up, Aaron is around third. The relay goes to Jim Gilliam, who doesn't have a play. Aaron comes in to score. We told you that when O'Connell singled to center, the ball was taking tricky bounces and that Snyder was bobbing and weaving to stay with it. And this one took the same kind of bounce out there. Snyder went down on his knees so that when the ball went through him, he looked as if he had his forehead down on the grass and both knees down. It went right through to the wall, and both runs come in. And the Milwaukee Braves on a bad bounce. It's a single and an error charged to Duke Snyder, and the Braves are leading 2-0. Danny O'Connell fouls a pitch at the plate, 0-1. So on a Sunday afternoon, the Dodgers and Braves are right at each other in the first inning. Rene Valdez is throwing in the Dodger bullpen. So a bad bounce. Snyder tried to stay with it, and then the ball went through his legs. Matthews takes a fastball outside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Plenty of noise and excitement today, just about guaranteed. Crowd still buzzing about that. 1 ball and 1 strike. The count to Eddie Matthews. Maglie delivers the pitches, cut on and missed. Strike 2. So O'Connell singles, and Snyder is able to field the ball after tricky bounces. Aaron singles. Snyder cannot field it. It goes to his legs for a base hit, and then Aaron just keeps on coming on the error. O'Connell scoring ahead of him. 2-0 Milwaukee in the first inning. Maglie double pumping on Eddie Matthews. Comes to the plate, and the pitch is cut on and missed. Strike 3. So Eddie Matthews strikes out for the first out in the first inning. And that'll bring up Billy Joe Adcock. Adcock batting .360. He had .421 against the Dodgers last year. Maglie ready and comes to the plate. Pitch in for the strike. Adcock taking a half swing and pulling away. 0-1 the count. The F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn delighted to be sending a big one to you on this Sunday afternoon. A slanting breeze from the right field corner over towards left. Maglie delivers, breaking ball hit down to short. Zimmer up with it. He has a long throw and makes it. So Joe Adcock goes out short to first. 2 down in the first inning. Braves have 2. And the batter is Bobby Thompson. Bobby batting .169. He has a home run and 7 runs batted in.
25. Bobby Thompson, left field.
Maglie peering in to get his sign. Thompson settles in the hitter's box, and Sal comes to him with a curve and a comebacker right to the mound. Maglie handles it over to Hodges, and that's it in the first inning. So the 2 runs that the Braves pick up in the first inning have to be unearned. No runs, 2 hits. Both runs come over on Snyder's error. Nobody left on base, and at the end of half an inning, the Braves have 2, and the Dodgers coming up right now. We'll have a chance to set Milwaukee for you. Going out to the mound, a fellow who really made life miserable for Brooklyn last year, Bob Buhl. He beat them 8 times. Back of the plate, Del Crandall. At first, Joe Adcock. At second, Danny O'Connell. At short, Johnny Logan. And at third, Eddie Matthews. In the outfield, Bobby Thompson in left, Bill Bruton in center, and Henry Aaron in right. Dodger Symphony is here, helping to add to the enjoyment. Jake Fiddler coaching at first, and around at third, Billy Herman. The Dodgers against Bob Buhl in the first inning will send up Jim Gilliam, Gino Simoli, and Duke Snyder. Bob Buhl getting used to the mound now as he throws down to Del Crandall. Tomorrow night, Don Drysdale and Lou Burdett. Airtime 7:55, game time 8 o'clock. And plenty of seats of all kinds. We hope you'll make your plans to be with us tomorrow evening. Jim Gilliam, being announced to the crowd, is batting .328. He was the most consistent Dodger batter against the Braves last year. He batted .348 against them. Braves 2, Dodgers at bat in the last of the first inning. The outfield around towards right on Junior, hitting left-handed. A big gap in left center. Bobby Thompson must protect the left field area. Eddie Matthews is up on the edge of the infield grass now as Buhl is ready to go to work. Bob's first pitch is fastball in for the strike, going 1. Bob Buhl 4 days ago was complaining about the fact that he could not get a good fastball working, but he hoped before the ball game that in 4 days he could pick it up. Strike 1 pitch, a soft curve that's hit foul off third base and carries in the upper deck. 0-2 the count. Big day of baseball today. We'll duck in the schedules and any scores that we have for you. 0-2 to Gilliam. Last of the first inning, Braves 2, Dodgers nothing. Cubs and Giants play a doubleheader. Bob Rush and Kurt Barkley. And the Cubs did not score in the first inning. Buhl ready, the strike 2 pitch. Fastball, a line drive, base hit, inside third and down the line. Bobby Thompson over to retrieve. Gilliam will have himself a stand-up double. So Jim Gilliam trying to get the Dodgers scored away. Lines one, hip high right by Eddie Matthews, inside third and down the line. So Gilliam at second base, nobody out. Gino Cimoli stepping in with Duke Snider on deck. Cimoli is batting .269. Cincinnati and the Pirates are tied 1-1 at the end of 4 innings. Lawrence against Arroyo. Clemente hit a home run in the second inning to account for the Pittsburgh run. That's the first of 2. Buhl looks back at second. Now delivers to Cimoli, and the fastball is outside. Ball 1. The Cardinals and the Phillies, Schmidt against Simmons, 4-0 in favor of the Phillies at the end of 4 innings. Everybody else in the National League playing doubleheaders. Cimoli waiting. Buhl checks second. The 1-0 pitch to Gino, cut on and bounced to the right side. O'Connell waits for it to come to him, then throws him out. And on the play, Gilliam advances to third. Duke Snider coming up. Snider making one of his rare errors in center field on a base hit. Had it go through his legs to account for the 2 Milwaukee runs. Now the Duke is up there with a chance to get one or both of them back. Snider batting .263 with 3 home runs and 7 runs batted in. Buhl winds and delivers, and the Duke takes a fastball for a strike. A throw to third is not in time. Yankees and White Sox play a doubleheader. No report yet because of the time difference. Red Sox are leading Cleveland 4-0 at the end of 2 innings. Nixon against Lemon. The strike 1 pitch to Snider. Nubbed up along the first baseline. Gilliam comes to the plate and scores. Buhl can't pick the ball up. Snider over swinging on a 3-1 pitch. Just dribbled it up along the first baseline. Gilliam decided to come to the plate. And Buhl, in his anxiety to field the ball and make a play to the plate, could not pick it up. So Junior scores. Snider is safely on at first, and it is now 2-1 Milwaukee. Snider gets credited for a run batted in for the official scorer's judgment. 2-1 Braves on a noisy Sunday afternoon. The pitch to Frillo. Fastball down low. Ball 1. Ray Cone begins to loosen up now in the Milwaukee bullpen. Now Danny O'Connell comes in from second base and hollers something to Buhl. Boy, these 2 ball clubs are after each other right away. Snider inching off first. Pitch to Frillo is hit right up the middle into center field for a base hit. Snider is around second. Going to third. He'll make it easily. Ebbets Field rocking to its foundation right now. The Dodgers and Braves rolling around in the dirt. We're in the first inning. The Braves 2, the Dodgers 1. The Dodgers have runners at first and third with 1 out. Johnny Logan, the shortstop, is coming in to get some sunglasses, I believe. And Joe Taylor will bring them out to him. We have a blue sky up ahead with some white clouds, just a few of them. The sun right now is behind the cloud, but just as soon as it burns out, Johnny Logan wants to be ready for it. So he's putting on his sunglasses. Now there will be another pair of sunglasses brought out to second baseman Danny O'Connell. So time is called. Milwaukee 2, Brooklyn 1. 1 out, last of the first inning. Frillo at first, Snider at third, and the batter, Gil Hodges. Hodges batting .345, has 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Ray Crone continues to throw in the Milwaukee bullpen, back of Bob Buhl. Buhl with feet up on the rubber now looks in to get his sign from Del Crandall. Buhl comes set, checks his runners, and delivers. Fastball at the knees for a strike. On 1. Buhl ready, again comes set. The strike one pitch, a curveball outside. Crandall on his right knee to block that one nicely. Snyder impatiently coming off third. Furlow hands on his hip, just inching away from first. 1-1 the count to Hodges. Buhl ready. The 1-1 pitch. Curveball outside. Ball 2. And you could see Buhl pound his fist into his glove. He wanted that pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hope you have plenty of Schaefer beer on hand. This promises to be quite an afternoon. Buhl ready. Now the 2-1er. Hodges checks his swing, and the fastball is just outside. Ball 3. Hodges came within an eyelash of going after it. Just did pull back. 3 balls and 1 strike. Now we'll see if the Dodgers might play a little run and hit. 3-1 the count to Hodges. At first base, Furlow is the man in question, whether he'll be going or not. Snyder, of course, will hold at third. Buhl comes set, looks to Furlow. Furlow does not go. The 3-1 pitch is looped on a broken bat into shallow left center. It's going to drop in for the base hit. In comes Snyder. Furlow goes to third. It's a brand new ball game. Hodges hit that right off the handle and broke his bat and looped it into left center for the base hit. Johnny Logan tried to con the runners by going out with both hands held in the air as if he had a chance to catch it, but it landed a good 20 feet in front of him. Snyder scored easily. Furlow, without a doubt, was running and kept on going to third. A 2-2 tie in the first inning. Still runners at first and third. 1 out, and here's Campanella, who takes a curve outside, ball 1. And now the sunshine begins to come out brightly. Campanella batting .269, has 3 home runs and 9 runs batted in. The chant begins now out in left field. We want a hit. Buhl set, the 1-0 pitch. Campy takes outside, ball 2. 2-0. So Bob Buhl having the first inning miseries. It's all tied 2-2 in the first. Buhl turns on the rubber, checks his runners. The 2-0 pitch. Campy swings the high drive, going deep to left field. That's way out there. It's gone. Campanella, who hit a home run and 2 doubles yesterday, needed only 2 more total bases today to reach 2,000 for his National League career, and he went up and over that mark. He now has 2,002 total bases in his career, and the Dodgers lead 5-2 as Campy whacked his 4th home run and now has 12 runs batted in. And the batter, Don Zimmer. Buhl's fastball is in for the strike, on 1. So Don Zimmer and Don Newcomb are our Schaefer Award winners for the week, and Little Jim is in there now. 5-2 Brooklyn in the first inning. Strike 1 pitch cut on is a high pop fly. Del Crandall makes a complete turn in foul ground. Under it now and takes it. 2 down. So the Braves in the first inning, O'Connell singled, Aaron singled. The ball went through Snyder's legs and both men came over. And in the bottom of the first, Gilliam doubles, goes to third on an infield out. Snyder hits a ground ball that Buhl cannot field. Gilliam scores. Snyder's safe. Furlow singles into third. Hodges singles in Snyder, and Campanella chases everybody home. Good morning. Charlie Neal takes the first pitch in for a strike, going 1. Neal, yesterday's hero with his home run in the center field seats, is batting .290. Fastball a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 2 in the first inning. We do have fun out here. Boy. 1-1 pitch to Neal, outside in the dirt. Gets away from Crandall. 2-1 the count. Well, if you didn't make it today, we certainly hope you make your plans. They'll be at each other tomorrow night. Lou Burdette for Milwaukee and Don Drysdale for Brooklyn. Buhl delivers 2-1. Neal takes way up high. That fastball sailed. Ball 3. Charlie Neal is the 8th Dodger to come to the plate here in the first inning. The 3-1 pitch to Neal. Down low, ball 4, so Charlie's on. That's the first walk of the inning. And we're waiting now for Sal Maglie to come up. Here comes Sal, getting a round of applause. All right, with 2 out, Maglie gets in. The roar of planes, 9 of them go flying by in tight formation. Buhl comes set, looks to Neal and delivers to Maglie. Outside, ball 1. I think it was against Bob Buhl last year in a night game. Maglie got a base hit with the bases loaded to win it for himself. 3-2. Base hit to center. Buhl ready and delivers. Sal swings a big bouncer back of the bag at second, through into center field for a base hit. Neal stops at second. That's the way Maglie got in those runs last year against Buhl. A big high bouncer right up the middle. Fred Haney going out to the mound. Let's pause for station identification. This, without a doubt, is the Brooklyn Dodgers radio network.
Dial 1460 WOKO Albany for the Brooklyn Dodgers games, and write to WOKO for the complete Dodger schedule of games at home and away. They're yours free for the asking, so be sure to give your name and address. Write baseball, WOKO Albany, New York. 2:30 WOKO time.
Well, here at Ebbets Field, the Dodgers, after spotting the Braves 2 runs in the first inning, have come back with 5. 9 men have come to bat, and Maglie's base hit up the middle right now chases Bob Buhl. So Buhl works 2/3 of an inning, gives up 5 hits, and at least 5 runs. The runners at first and second are his responsibilities. Coming in from the Milwaukee bullpen is Ray Crone, C-R-O-N-E. Crone, coming onto the mound, will be making his 4th appearance for the Braves as second in relief. He is 1-0 with the league. Ray Crone. So a disgusted Bob Buhl getting his windbreaker now, putting it on and sitting back into the corner of the Milwaukee dugout. Jim Gilliam opened things up in the bottom of the first with a double to left. Jim 1 for 1. Ray Crone, with runners in first and second, throws a fastball almost in the dirt, and Del Crandall blocks it nicely as he goes on both knees. 1-0 the count of Junior. Charlie Neal at second, Sal Maglie at first. 2 out on the first inning. Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 2. Crone up on top now, right-hander ready. The 1-0 pitch looked like a changeup, and there's a high fly ball to left field. Bobby Thompson fades, turns, and takes it for the out. So Gilliam flies to left, and that is it in the first inning. 10 Dodgers come to bat. In the first for Brooklyn, as they come from behind, 5 runs on 5 hits. There was 1 error, that by Bob Buhl, and 2 men left on base. So at the end of the first inning, Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 2. Now let's get the score from Al.
Well, you know, one of the handy things about the Schaefer 6-pack is that they're so easy to spot in the store. You just look for scenes of folks doing the things folks do. Fishing, having a picnic, working in a shop, watching TV, enjoying a glass of Schaefer beer in each of these situations. Those are the pictures right on the sides of the Schaefer 6-pack. Pictures of enjoyment, real enjoyment. Naturally, they go hand in hand with what's inside the Schaefer 6-pack. The real beer flavor that gives you so much enjoyment. So when you stop by the store, pick up a Schaefer 6-pack or 2. Just look for the white background and the pictures of young folks enjoying themselves. You'll enjoy Schaefer yourself. It's real beer. Looks to me, Vin, as though we got a real slugfest going here this afternoon, huh?
Boy, you know, the Braves flew in from Pittsburgh last night, so they were in the hotel at about 7 p.m. They were assured of a good night's sleep. The Dodgers, having played a 9-inning game yesterday and winning it in the 9th, no doubt had pleasant dreams. And boy, they came up snarling today. Johnny Logan to be followed by Bill Bruton and then Del Crandall in the second inning. Brooklyn 5 and Milwaukee 2. Logan is batting .237 with 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Oh, a pleasant day in New York, a fine crowd here at Ebbets Field, and two fine ball clubs going at each other, the Dodgers and the Braves. Logan stepping in, Maglie ready to go to work now in the second inning. Sal winds in the first pitch, a curveball in for the strike. Logan ran up as if to bunt and then took it. Brooklyn, 5 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. Milwaukee, 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. Maglie checks his signs. Sal straightens up, and the strike one pitch to Logan. Another soft curve, and that's belted to left field. Samoli going back near the wall, turns and takes it. 1 out. Center fielder Bill Bruton batting .273. He has 6 runs batted in.
Batting in seventh position, number 38, Bill Bruton, center fielder.
Bruton, beside being a good hitter, is a fine bunter to Charlie Neal inside the bag at third. He runs up as if to bunt, then takes it low and outside. Ball 1. Maglie peering in, Sal ready. The 1-0 pitch to Bill Bruton. Curve cut on a line drive, base hit into right center. Frillo over there to cut it off, and Bruton holds on at first. So with 1 out in the second, Bruton singles into right center. That is hit number 3 off Sal Maglie. Braves catcher Del Crandall coming up, batting .308. 3 home runs, 7 runs batted in. One of the many reasons for the Milwaukee Braves to be atop the National League as of this moment has been the fine play of Crandall, who is not with them all year. Last year he had a bad left arm. First pitch to him is a curve low and outside. Ball 1. Crandall playing every day now and playing great ball back of the plate. One ball, no strikes. Maglie getting his sign, Crandall waiting. Sal takes a look over at Bill Bruton at first, checks him again, now delivers to the plate. The pitch is cut on, is a high pop fly. Out on the grass goes Gilliam, but Hodges calling for it and takes it for the out. So Crandall pops out to Gil Hodges for the second out. Bruton holding on at first. And Ray Crone will come up to bat for himself. Ernie Johnson started to throw a couple of pitches in the bullpen. Apparently, had Crandall gotten on, the Braves might have gone for the big inning. But since Dell popped up, they'll stay with their pitcher. Yesterday, that turned out to be a good thing for the Cardinals, at least at the time. They were trailing 2-1. First 2 men, 1 out, so they allowed the pitcher to hit, Lindy McDaniel, and he hit a home run to tie it up. Talking about the Cardinals, they picked up 4 runs in the 6th inning, and at the end of 5 1/2, they are tied with the Phillies 4-4. Maglie said, looks to Bruton and delivers a curveball that's low and inside at the feet of Crone. Ball 1. Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 2 in the 2nd inning with 2 outs. Maglie comes set. Now the 1-0 pitch to Ray Crone. Curveball and a line drive to right field. It's a base hit. Frillo plays it on a bounce, and Bruton, with the ball club trailing by 3, stops at second. So Ray Crone singles to right. Billy Bruton stopping at second base, and it brings up Danny O'Connell. That is hit number 4 against Sal Maglie. 2 out in the 2nd inning, and O'Connell started things off with a base hit to center in the 1st inning. Danny batting .250. 2 out in the top of the 2nd inning. We've had 7 runs and 9 hits in the game. Brooklyn leading 5-2. Campanella, holding up 2 fingers on his right hand, let everybody in on the ball game. 2 out. Maglie looks to his runners. Now delivers a curve that's hit hotly down to Charlie Neal, who's up with it nicely and steps on the bag. So they get the force play on Bill Bruton coming down. In the 2nd inning for the Braves, no runs, 2 hits. They leave 2 men. And the score at the end of an inning and a half, Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 2. Now here's Al.
Well, you've seen it, haven't you, fans? A fella tries to stretch an important single into a double, and whap, he's tagged right out. Well, you might say out is a very sad thing to be. Well, that sure goes for Schaefer beer, too. Man, you just never want to be out of Schaefer. No, sir. Nothing takes its place, because Schaefer is beer at its best. It's brewed only of rich barley malt, tangy hops, and other fine, natural ingredients. Then you add to that the brewing skill the Schaefer people have developed through 115 years of experience, and that's it. That's Schaefer beer. The one beer that gives you the light, zesty, satisfying flavor you want but don't always find. Will you see for yourself? Try a tall, cool, foaming glass of Schaefer right now. You'll agree, it's real beer. And Vinny, how do you say real beer? Oh, that's the quote.
5-2 Brooklyn, last of the second inning. Gino Cimoli, Duke Snyder, and Carl Furillo. Should anybody get on, maybe Gil Hodges. Cimoli bounced out in the first inning, hitting the ball to the right side, going out to Danny O'Connell, which allowed Gilliam to move to third. And that was a big out and a big play, for Gilliam then was able to score, as Bob Buhl could not handle the dribbler hit by Duke Snyder. That's another thing they like about Cimoli. He can move the ball around so that even if he goes out, he can get that runner another 90 feet along. Ray Crone sends him a fastball outside, backhanded by Del Crandall, ball one. Cimoli hitting .265. And I can imagine that in the manager's book, that ground ball by Cimoli to second base, which was just a routine play, except that he moved it out there and made sure Gilliam got to third. Kind of a play a manager likes to see a ball player come up with. Ray Crone in relief of Bob Buhl. Tall right-hander ready. The 1-0 pitch to Cimoli. Changes, whack to left field. Bobby Thompson going back to the wall and grabs it for the out. Cimoli hits a line drive right back at Bobby Thompson in left field. 1 out. Of all the ball players on the Brooklyn Ball Club, at least thus far in the spring, Cimoli has hit more line drives at people than anybody else. And he has 18 hits. Here's Duke Snyder, who got on when Bob Buhl could not field his little trickler up along the first baseline. Crone delivers. Snyder takes a strike. 0 for 1. 5-2 Brooklyn. 1 out in the second inning. Bases empty. On deck, Carl Furillo. Crone comes back with the strike one pitch, and a fastball is cut on and missed. 0-2. Snyder really wristed at that ball. Crone blew it by him. No balls, 2 strikes. Now Crone is ready. The strike 2 pitch. Curveball cut on and ripped right up the middle for a base hit. So on the 0-2 pitch, Crone went to the curve and Snyder singles to center. That is hit number 1 off Ray Crone. Hit number 6 for Brooklyn, and brings up Carl Furillo. Furillo singled to center in the first inning. Chased Snyder around the third. He's batting .259. Well, Furillo's hitting .281, and Snyder went up there hitting .259. On deck, Gil Hodges. Crone comes set, takes a peek at first. Now works the plate, and the fastball is right at Furillo's hands. Ball 1. Cubs and Giants, no score at the end of 2 innings. First of 2 games, Bob Rush and Kurt Barkley. Crone comes back 1-0. Fastball that's fouled away in the hanging boxes suspended from the upper deck just to the right of home plate. And some youngster in there now has himself a brand new baseball and a hot dog in the other hand. Boy, he loaded. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5-2 Brooklyn in the second inning. Snyder held on by Adcock, inching off first. The 1-1 pitch. Snyder goes. The curve is in the dirt for a ball. The throw down to O'Connell is too high, and Snyder's under the tag. O'Connell argues that Snyder had gone past the bag, but second base umpire Bill Jakowski said no. He stayed on with a hand. Though the pitch was bounced at the plate, and it was a fine throw by Crandall to even make it that close. Snyder steals second, and the count to Carl Furillo. 1-2. As to protect the runner, he took a swing at that pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Time called now. Crandall going out to the mound. Scoreboard has to be corrected. 1-2, the count out there. Nope. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They have it 2-1. It's all right. Plate umpire Tony Venzen making sure the players know. 1-2. The counts are called for Illo. Ray Crone looking in. Snyder with a stolen base coming down off second. The 1-2 pitch to Frillo. Fastball just low. Ball 2. 2-2. Frillo waiting. Ray Crone in relief of Bob Buhl. Brooklyn 5, Braves 2 in the bottom of the second. 1 out. Crone ready now and comes set. Takes a look back at Snyder. The 2-2 pitch. A curve outside in the dirt. Ball 3. Gil Hodges, who singled to center, breaking a bat and getting in a run on deck. Del Crandall flashing out his signs in series with a runner at second. Crone ready. Now the full count pitch to Frillo. Curve outside. Ball 4. So Frillo walks. Snyder holding at second. 1 out. And it brings up Gil Hodges. And we'll have action again in the Milwaukee bullpen. Ernie Johnson had been throwing earlier, and he's up again. When the Braves bat in the third, they'll have Aaron, Matthews, and Adcock. So big men coming up. Gil Hodges with that broken bat single and a run batted in is batting .356. Snyder at second, Frillo at first, 1 out in the second inning. 5-2 Brooklyn. Ray Crone ready and delivers to Hodges. The curveball is bounced sharply to Logan, who goes to O'Connell for 1. Back to Adcock, the double play. So Hodges hits a 1 bouncer to Logan, and they turn it into a double play. 6-4-3. Frillo, the middleman, is cut down. In the second inning for Brooklyn, no runs, 1 hit, a stolen base, 1 man left on. And at the end of 2 innings of play, Brooklyn 5 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Milwaukee 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Now let's lend an ear to Al.
Well, night baseball the next 3 evenings here at Ebbets Field. Tomorrow night, the Milwaukee Braves. Probably be Drysdale going against Burdett. Then Tuesday and Wednesday nights, the bombing Cincinnati Reds will be here. It's power versus power when these clubs get together, and it's your chance to expert the National League pennant race of 1957, because these are the 3 teams everyone is picking to settle a 1957 argument. And for all 3 night games, more than 20,000 tickets on sale when the gates open. Tickets at all prices, from 75 cents to $3. So let's see and hear all of the loyal Dodger fans out here the next 3 nights at Ebbets Field. Boy, it really should be something. We'll find out before the Brooklyn Dodgers go on their western swing just exactly where they'll be standing in the National League. Well, we're going to find out where things will be standing in the top half of inning number 3 now. The Brooklyn Dodgers leading 5-2 as we go to the third. Pick up Aaron as the batsman. Let's get right back to Vince.
Well, Maglie has given up 2 runs. However, the error caused both runs to come over in the first inning. But he has been touched up for 4 hits, and now he faces the big hitters in the Milwaukee lineup. Henry Aaron singled to center in the first inning. It was on Aaron's single. The ball taking erratic bounces eventually went right through Snyder's legs for the error. O'Connell scoring ahead of Aaron, who just kept on coming. Then Matthews, then Adcock. Aaron batting .397. He's tied with Sauer with home runs. He has 5. 13 runs batted in. Maglie comes to him, and the breaking ball is in for the strike. 0-1. Aaron against Brooklyn all year last year hit .409. Here at Ebbets Field, he batted .442. Strike 1 pitch to Henry. Breaking ball outside. 1-1. That's quite a triumvirate to make home here at Ebbets Field. Henry Aaron, Joe Adcock, and Stan Musial. They'll break every seat in the house. The 1-1 pitch to Henry. Maglie bends it off, and there's a belt to deep right center field. Frillo going way back into the alleyway, but it's going to be off the concave wall and rattling around in there. Aaron is going to go for 3 and then stops at second and gets on back as the relay comes to Zimmer. Henry hit second base and took a big wide stride as if he was off to go for third base, and at the last second jammed on the brakes and ducked back. So Henry Aaron doubles into the alleyway in right center. That is his second hit. He's 2 for 2 and hit number 5 off Maglie. So Sal has been roughed up, although the Dodgers are leading 5-2. The Brooklyn bullpen will again get busy. Eddie Matthews struck out in the first inning. Eddie batting .237. Maglie staring in to get his sign. The outfield deep and around to right on Matthews. Maglie looks to Aaron at second, comes to the plate with a curve, and there's a high foul to the left of the plate and deep. Campanella coming back into the shadow, right to the edge of the Milwaukee dugout, and he has no play. Don Besson gets up in the Brooklyn bullpen and begins to throw. 0-1 the count to Eddie Matthews. On deck, Joe Adcock. Third inning in a stormy affair. Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 2. We've had 11 base hits thus far. Maglie peering in, Matthews waiting. Now Sal comes set. The strike one pitch. Curveball and a hot one ripped right up the middle for a base hit. Aaron around third will score. Snyder again playing those careful bounces, gets it back in. I don't know if the outfield has just been resodded or cut, but the balls, once they get past the infield, are really bouncing crazily out there in center field. So Matthews singles, Aaron scores, and it is now 5-3 in favor of Brooklyn. 6 hits off Sal Maglie in 2 innings plus, and Billy Herman is going out to the mound. It's a rare occasion when Herman goes out. Walter Olson is not feeling too well. He has a very sore throat. Herman going out, and Don Besson throwing in the bullpen. The batter will be Billy Joe Adcock. Usually Olson will go out to talk to his man, and if he has to make a switch, he'll do it himself. But his first lieutenant, Billy Herman, is out there at the mound right now trying to find out what's up with Sal Maglie. Herman turns, looks into the vicinity of the bullpen, and just as quickly goes back to talking with Maglie. Don Besson is throwing down there if they want him. Maglie walking around with his hands on his hips, and apparently Herman has just brought out a message, as Billy Joe Adcock will be the batter. Adcock bounced out short to first in the first inning. Eddie Matthews at first. Nobody out in the third inning. Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 3. Adcock batting .353. Maglie delivers, and the pitch is cut on and belted to right field. Frillo running parallel to the wall now. Comes in a step, grabs it for the out, and back to first comes Eddie Matthews. So Adcock goes out to right fielder Carl Furillo. 1 out. Bobby Thompson hit back to the box in the first inning, 0 for 1. Bob batting .167. The Dodgers got some bad news about Randy Jackson today concerning that knee. Tell you about it. Maglie ready, delivers, and the fastball is in for a strike, 0-1. Jackson is in Long Island College Hospital, and according to Dr. Richard Kubiak, it is probable that he has a torn cartilage in his left knee. He's been placed in traction for about 10 days, and if surgery is necessary, it will be performed. Strike one pitch, and the curve is hit down to short. Zimmer's only play is to first base in time for the out. Matthews, who is going safely at second. Two down in the third inning. Shortstop Johnny Logan, who flied to left field in the second inning, coming up. John batting .233. Logan waiting at the plate. 5-3 Brooklyn, 2 out. Eddie Matthews at second base. Maglie takes a look back at Matthews, now delivers to Logan. The curve is belted to center field. Snyder has to go back, turns and grabs it for the out. A well-hit ball. Snyder hauls it in. In the third inning for the Braves, they settle for 1 run on 2 hits, a double and a single. They leave 1 man. There were no Dodger errors, and at the end of 2.5 innings of play, Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 3. Say, Al.
Yes, Sam.
Got a question here from a lady in the audience. She wants to know how you can tell a really good beer.
Oh, Vinny, that's easy. Just make sure it's Schaefer.
Well, we know that, Al, but she wants to know how we know.
Well, she can use 4 simple tests, Vinny. She can pour out a glass of Schaefer beer and then look at its sparkling, clear, golden amber color crowned with a foamy white head.
Well, that's one test, appearance.
Well, and she can sniff its delicate fragrance and taste its light and lively flavor.
That's 2 and 3, aroma and taste. But what about the 4th?
Oh, man, this is the clincher. Vin, you just tell her that when she pours glasses for herself and her husband, to watch for the smile on his face, the smile of real enjoyment, that she served him beer at its best. And he'll thank her for giving him Schaefer, because it's real beer.
Enough said. Right now, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO for the Brooklyn Dodgers games and write to WOKO for the complete Dodger schedule of games at home and away. They're yours free for the asking. Be sure to give your name and address. Write baseball, WOKO, Albany, New York. 2 minutes past 3 WOKO time.
The third inning, 5-3 Brooklyn. Roy Campanella, Don Zimmer, and Charlie Neal. Campanella hit a line drive home run in the first inning with 2 mates aboard. Ray Crone comes to him with a curve that's cut on, a high pop fly, and a shallow right. Danny O'Connell is calling with Adcock and Aaron near, and O'Connell takes it for the out. So Campanella, first ball swinging, pops up. 1 up, 1 away. Don Zimmer making his way up to home plate. Don fouled out to Del Crandall in the first inning. Zimmer batting .267. 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the third. Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 3. And what a wild one this is. Ray Crone in relief of Bob Buhl. The right-hander delivers to Zimmer, and the fastball is outside and low. Ball 1. Bob Buhl worked 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 5 runs and 5 hits. The 1-0 pitch to Zimmer. Change-up that's inside. Ball 2. 2-0. Tomorrow night, game time 8 o'clock. Lou Burdette against Don Drysdale. 2-0 pitch to Zimmer. Curveball. Cut on and missed. 2-1. Two-1er. Fastball cut on, a line drive into left field, a clean base hit. Bobby Thompson comes up with the ball. Zimmer takes a big turn and then holds on. So Zimmer singles to left with 1 out on the third. That is hit number 2 off Ray Crone, hit number 7 for Brooklyn, and brings up Charlie Neal. Neal walked in the first inning. Charlie batting .290. Zimmer inching off the bag at first. Joe Adcock holding him. Crone checks again. Now comes to the plate, and the fastball is in for the strike. 0-1. Crandall now trotting out to the mound. Have a few more words with Ray Crone. Brooklyn 5 runs on 7 hits, 1 error. Milwaukee 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. The end of this inning, after the Dodgers have had their at-bats, we'll have a complete rundown of the Schaefer scoreboard. Crone ready. The strike 1 pitch. Caught on and lined into right field for a base hit. Zimmer around second, heading for third, and will make it easily as the throw goes into Danny O'Connell. Boy, it's a hitter's day today. Charlie Neal gets a base hit number 3 off Ray Crone. Hit number 8 for Brooklyn, the 14th hit in the ball game, and we have 1 out in the third inning. Ernie Johnson up and throwing again in the Milwaukee bullpen. Crone is scheduled to be the third batter for Milwaukee when they come up in the fourth. And the Dodgers are going to go for broke. They're going for the big inning. Elmer Vallow is coming up to hit for Sal Maglie. So Maglie, who was really roughed up, although he maintained a lead, he had given up 3 runs and 6 hits in his 3 innings, gives way to pinch batter Elmer Vallow. So apparently Sal still not right. After he had that stiff neck, he wasn't sharp against Chicago and was not sharp at all here. So Vallow comes on. Walter Alston hoping to try and increase his lead, pick up another run or 2 if he can, and Elmer Vallow comes up to hit for Sal Maglie. Don Zimmer at third, Charlie Neal at first with 1 out in the third. Brooklyn 5, Milwaukee 3. So we'll see Don Besson. Crone ready and delivers. Fastball in for the strike, 0-1. Vallow is 0 for 3 as a pinch batter. However, he has walked 4 times. Crone set. The strike 1 pitch to Vallow. Fastball just outside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Maglie works 3 innings, gives up 3 runs. 2 of the 3 runs were unearned. 6 hits, did not walk a man, and struck out 1. And he's had it. The 1-1 pitch to Vallow. Fastball hit by Eddie Matthews and on down the line. In comes Zimmer, Neal going to third, and Vallow holds on at first. Elmer just slapped at an outside pitch. Matthews was even with the bag at third and tried to backhand it. It just went under his fingers and on into left field. So Vallow is single to left. Neal advancing to third. Zimmer scores, and the Dodgers now lead 6-3. Hit number 4 off Ray Crone, the first run that he's allowed. The Dodgers 6 runs on 9 hits. Milwaukee 3 runs on 6 hits. Here's Jim Gilliam coming up for his 3rd at-bat in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2, batting .333. Still runners at first and third, still 1 out. Crone comes set, checks his runners. Now delivers to Gilliam. Curve that's punched at and hit foul to the left of the plate, back into the crowd. 0-1. Eddie Matthews about even with the bag at third but wide. He was in that same position when Gilliam opened up the ball game for Brooklyn, and Jim rammed it between Matthews and the bag and down the line for 2 bases. Vallow has just hit one in there for a single. 0-1. Crone ready and delivers. Fastball for the strike. 0-2. On most occasions, whenever Vallow gets on base, they use a pinch runner. We've seen Carl Erskine run for him a couple of times, but Vallow's going to stay at first. At third base, Charlie Neal. A run in here in the third. Brooklyn 6, Milwaukee 3. 1 out. Crone peering in. Now he's ready. 0-2 to Gilliam. Crone delivers. Fastball cut on and missed, and down goes Junior. So Gilliam strikes out. First strikeout for Ray Crone, and brings up Gino Cimoli. Cimoli bounced out second to first in the first inning. Hit the ball well, but lined out to Bobby Thompson in the second. Gino batting .261. On deck, Duke Snider. Crone comes set, checks his runners, and delivers to Cimoli. A curve in for the strike, 0-1. Charlie Neal holding on at third. Vallow is right at the bag at first. Adcock holding. 6-3 Brooklyn, last of the third inning. Crone set. And the strike 1 pitch to Cimoli. Curve rammed right on by Johnny Logan for a base hit. Neal scores. Vallow stumbles rounding second. They throw back of him, but Elmer gets back to the bag. So everybody hits today for both sides. They're just walking up there, digging in and swinging away. Cimoli singles to center to get a base hit and a run batted in as Neal carries it over. That is hit number 5 against Ray Crone, the second run that he's allowed. The Dodgers now lead 7-3 on 10 hits. And here's Duke Snider. Ballo at second, Samoli at first, 2 out. Had 10 runs and 16 hits, and we're in the bottom of the third inning. Boy, what a Sunday afternoon. Crone delivers, and the pitch is hit and stabbed nicely by Crone, who turns, runs halfway to first base, and then throws to Adcock. So Snider hits one back to the box, and that's it in the third inning. For Brooklyn, they pick up 2 runs. On 4 more hits, they leave 2 men. There were no Milwaukee errors. Now, at the end of 3, Brooklyn 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. 10 hits in 3 innings. And Milwaukee 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. See what the other ball clubs are doing. Cubs and the Giants, Rush and Barkley, the first of 2 games. The Cubs are leading 1-0 at the end of 3.5 innings. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Let's check that now. 5-2 in favor of Cincinnati at the end of 7 innings. Arroyo, Hall, Klein, and Johnny O'Brien for Pittsburgh. Lawrence for Cincinnati. Clemente at a home run for Pittsburgh. St. Louis and Philadelphia. It is 7-4. St. Louis over Philadelphia at the end of 7.5. Schmidt, Merritt in the 5th inning. For Philadelphia, Simmons, Miller, and Hearn. All doubleheaders. In the American League, the Yankees and White Sox playing 2. Shands and Pierce. No score at the end of 2.5 innings. Boston and Cleveland playing 2. It's 5-0 Boston at the end of 5.5 in the first game. Nixon against Lemon with McLish taking over in the 5th inning. Baltimore-Detroit in a single game. Tigers leading Baltimore 1-0 at the end of 2 innings. Johnson against Larry. Harvey Keene hit a home run, his first of the year in the first inning, to account for the Tigers' run. Washington at Kansas City. Probable pitchers, Pasquale against Morgan, but no report yet. Don Besson about ready to take over the pitching chores, and that has been an unenviable task today for all pitchers concerned. As we go to the 4th inning, Brooklyn 7, Milwaukee 3. And for Schaefer Beer and the play-by-play, here's Al Helfer.
Thank you very much, Vin. Hi, everybody. So Don Besson takes this one over now, and it can be his ball game to win it or lose it. 7-3 in favor of Brooklyn over Milwaukee. Besson pitching now to left-hand hitting Bruton. Throws in the fastball and cracks the corner with it for the first called strike. 0-1, the count on Bill Bruton as we begin the 4th inning at Ebbets Field. Besson getting his sign now from Roy Campanella. Is about ready to work. Bruton, tall, slender. Goes after the pitch and rifles out into left center field. It's in for a base hit. Snider over to grab it on the first skip. Fires it into the infield, and Bruton holds on with a single hit to left center. Vinny told you a couple of times about the baseball is taking erratic hops in the outfield. Well, that one also took an erratic hop. It looked for the moment as though it might bounce all the way over Snider's shoulder. Del Crandall coming up to the plate now for the Braves. Dell came up in the 2nd inning and popped up to first baseman Gil Hodges. Besson's fastball misses low and outside for ball 1. Looks as though Chuck Tanner is going to bat for Ray Crone. I believe that is he in the on-deck circle right now. Check and make sure. Yep, that's Chuck. Down comes the pitch. Crandall after it. Golfs it out into center field. Duke Snider has the range on it. Whacks the mitt. Hauls it down. Bill Bruton, almost down to second, has to come all the way back to first. Well, we have one out in the top of the 4th inning. And Tanner will be announced now to the crowd as the pinch hitter for Ray Crone. He's 0 for 1 for the year. Utility outfielder. Batting in the 4th inning for Crone. So Crone came on and worked 2/3 of the first inning. So he's worked 2 and a third. Tanner, a left-hand hitter. Besson bends the fastball in there, and it's a little low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 out, 1 on, top of the 4th inning at Ebbets Field. Really a slugfest this afternoon. 10 runs, 17 base hits. Besson works the plate. Bruton holds it first, and the pitch is low inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Down the bullpen for the Milwaukee Braves. tall herky-jerk right-hander, Ernie Johnson, is getting ready. So it'll be he coming on in the last half of inning number 4. Besson sets and fires. Gets the pitch in there for a strike. Count is 2-1. Besson looks over his left shoulder, watches Bruton sneak away from first. Then he pitches the plate fastball and lays it through there, and that's the second strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count on pinch hitter Chuck Tanner. Batting for Ray Crone. Besson shakes off Campanella. Then accepts the sign. Bruton steps away from first as the pitch is made. Swung on and missed. For strike 3. So Tanner, batting for Crone, goes down swinging. Gives Besson the strikeout. That'll be the second Brave to go down by strikeout route. Matthews struck out for Sal Maglie in the first inning. 2 down, Bruton with his single, the left center opening the inning, still on at first base. And Danny O'Connell, who singled up the middle in the first inning, and then forced a man to retire the side in the second, is coming on. Fastball is laid in there to him, and Danny takes it, and that costs him. Right in there at the knees for strike 1. O'Connell batting at .246. 1 home run this year and 4 runs batted in. Besson, again a check of the runner at first with 2 down. Goes to his position. Now delivers, pitch is swung on and drilled into left field for a base hit. Samoli up to it and grabs it on the skip route and holds up at second. And O'Connell has picked up his second base hit in 3 tries. That's second hit off Besson. And with 2 down, runners at first and second, and the batter coming up now is Hank Aaron, a man who is always to be reckoned with when he's up there, lumber in his hand. Well, let's see, 7, 10. 10 runs, 10, 8, 18 base hits. Valdez and Koufax get up and start to throw on a Brooklyn pen now. 2 down, runners at first and second. Here's Hank Aaron. Pitch to him is high and inside. Ball 1. Aaron singled up the middle in the first inning. And it was on that single that Duke Snyder had trouble and was charged with an error, allowing 2 runs to come in to score. Then Aaron doubled sharply to open the third. Doubled to right center and scored the 3rd run for the Braves. 7-3 Brooklyn. Besson straddled the pitcher's rubber. Now toes up on the rubber. Comes down to his set position and delivers. The pitch is swung on, hit right field. There's a well-hit ball, and it is over the right field screen for a home run for Aaron and for the Braves. Just a moment ago, it was a 7-3 ball game in favor of the Dodgers. Now it's 7-6. Hank Aaron hitting his 6th home run of the year, getting his 16th run batted in. He's driven in 3 of them. Oh, just clear the decks for action. Hit number 3 runs 1, 2, and 3 off Besson. Up at the plate, Eddie Matthews. Left-hand hitting third baseman takes the pitch high, ball 1. You know, this could go on for a long time, Vin. Back and forth like this. Fastball, Matthews after it, hits a line shot right to Gilliam at second base. Well, that winds things up here in the 4th inning, but not before the Braves come up with 3 big runs on 3 base hits, including Hank Aaron's 6th home run of the year. There were no errors, nobody left on thanks to the home run. And the score at the end of 3.5 innings of play, it's the Brooklyn Dodgers 7 and the visiting Milwaukee Braves have 6.
Well, to the last of the fourth inning in a quiet affair. It's 7-6 Brooklyn. We've had 19 base hits. The Dodgers have 7 runs on 10 hits. Milwaukee 6 runs on 9 hits. Each side has committed an error. Each side has had a 3-run home run, one by Campanella, one by Aaron. Let's see what else we have. Aaron also, well, imagine Aaron now. In 4 innings, he's been at bat 3 times. He has a single, double, and home run. For the Dodgers, as we go to their 4th inning of at-bat, everybody in the lineup has at least a base hit. Even Maglie, who started, even Valla, who was the pinch hitter. Outside of that, it's been a quiet day.
Yeah, Vin, you're right. Quiet like a hurricane off Cape Hatteras.
House falling down.
Yes, sir. The last half of inning number 4 coming along. So Carl Furillo singled up the middle in the first inning and came in to score one of the 5 big runs the Dodgers picked up in the first inning. He was walked in the second. So he's coming up now. Ernie Johnson taking over on the mound for the Milwaukee Braves. This will be the first appearance this year for the big lanky right-hander. So he has an 0-0 record. He's not concerned with the ball game as it now stands. Buhl is still on the hook. It's 7-6. Brooklyn over Milwaukee in a slugfest here this afternoon at Ebbets Field. So we shall see what we shall see. Del Crandall down to pump the sign to Big Johnson. Big 6'3" right-hander starts swing his arms, kicks and throws. Curveball stays outside, waist high for ball 1. Johnson blowing on the fingers of his pitching hand. Wanders around out there at the rubber. Now steps up on the hill. Furillo waits for him. The 1-0 delivery. A sidearm curve, and Furillo swings on, hits it off the handle, and pops it up in a short left field. Going back to shortstop Logan, and looks up and grabs it. So Furillo sort of loops one into short left to Logan. 1 out in the last half of inning number 4. Brooklyn's batter will be Gil Hodges. Gil has an RBI with a single to left center field in the first inning. He drove in Snyder from third base, moving Furillo at the time around to third. And he himself was on when Campanella unloaded his 4th home run of the year, a 3-run affair. Gil, hitting right-handed, of course, takes a let-up fastball, and that's over the corner. Knee high, strike 1. Gil batting at an even 350, 350. Johnson out there swinging his arms. Now twists and throws. Slow curveball hit down across the carpet to short. Logan charges, picks up, throws to first. Hodges goes down for the second out. And before Campy gets up there, let's pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO for the Brooklyn Dodgers games. It's 3:30 WOKO time.
Give the Dodgers 7 runs. They're leading by a very slender margin of 1 run. 7-6. One thing you can say about this afternoon's ball game, runs are not as scarce as Henstead. Everybody seems to be getting them. Johnson ready, delivers, and Campanella takes a slow curve laid over there for a strike. Our first game of the doubleheader between the Cubs and the Giants at the end of 4.5 innings. It's tied at 1 apiece. The Giants batting in the last half, inning number 5. Johnson delivers. Campanella backs off from one that brushes his chest. 1 ball and 1 strike. At the end of 8 innings, Cincinnati 6, Pittsburgh 2, their first game of the doubleheader. Johnson ready, comes down 1-1 to Campanella. Roy swings on it and loops it right down to second base. Grabbed by Danny O'Connell for the third out. A little soft liner. So for the Dodgers, they go quietly, and this is the first time either team has gone quietly in this ball game in an inning. Well, the score at the end of 4 is Brooklyn 7, and Milwaukee has 6. The first half of this game was brought to you by the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of Schaefer Beer, America's oldest lager beer. Now your host for the next 5 innings will be Lucky Strike, the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. It's made by the American Tobacco Company. Tobacco is our middle name. Well, everybody, hope to see you all out here for the ball games. Hope to see all you folks who work in the downtown area over at City Hall on Tuesday at noon, too. That's when Mayor Wagner opens the drive to sell out Ebbets Field for the Mayor's Trophy game May 23rd between the Yankees and the Dodgers. When the ticket booth is open, Mayor Wagner will have as his assistants Carl Erskine, Carl Frillo, and Emmett Kellett. Now, jot down the date on your lunch hour on the steps at City Hall Tuesday at noon. And now for a lucky strike, we move into the top half of inning number 5 with Joe Adcock standing in. The big first baseman is grounded to short and he's flied to right. He's 0 for 2 facing Don Besant. And right away down in the Brooklyn bullpen, Rene Valdez gets up and starts to throw. Besant makes his pitch and Adcock takes it right through there for a strike. Besant right back on the 0-1 delivery with a snapped-off curveball, and that's low outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5 inning totals. Correction, 4 inning totals. 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Brooklyn, 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Milwaukee. We're in the top of the 5th. Milwaukee at bat, Adcock up. Takes a pitch, slayed through for strike 2. His count is a ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 delivery now on big right hand hitting Billy Joe Adcock. Besant's fastball is ripped past Zimmer and out into left center field. That's up the alley. It's going to go to the wall. Adcock is on his way to second, digging fast, and makes it standing up with a 2-bagger. Oh, they're rattling the boards today. A double to left center field. That is hit number 4 off Besant. Now each side has 10 base blows. So the Braves have the tying run on at second base. And coming up to the plate will be Bobby Thompson, who has gone 0 for 2. Thompson retired to side in the first inning, tapping back to Maglie when he was in there. Then in the third inning, Zimmer threw him out on a ground ball to shortstop. Walter Austin has come out to talk to Besant. Rene Valdez down in the bullpen. I believe they're going to call Rene in right now. Sure enough, Rene's coming on. Besant came along in the 4th inning, pitched the 4th, so he's pitched just 1 inning plus. Ran into a little trouble here in the 5th inning. As he leaves, he cannot be the losing pitcher, nor can he be the winning pitcher.
Now coming in the pitch for the
Valdez coming in.
number 49, Rene Valdez.
Rene Valdez will pitch to Bobby Thompson, the Braves left fielder here in the 5th inning. Checking up on Valdez's record. He's got everything all squared away. Valdez is appearing in his 4th ball game. He's pitched for the Dodgers this year 7 1/3 innings. Given up 4 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of them having been earned. He's passed 3 men. He struck out 6. And his record is 1 win and no luck. So Valdez 1-0. Has to pick up this ball game and assume it one way or another. Of course, it all depends on what happens with him, whether he stays on the hook, gets off it, or so forth and so forth. Rene Valdez, a right-hand pitcher and a sidearm pitcher. So Haney's going with the percentage of having a left-hander hit against him. He brings on Wes Covington, stockily built utility outfielder, to bat for Thompson. First pitch to Covington is in over the fist for a called strike. Wes has been up twice this year. He's 0 for 2, so he has no batting percentage. Covington batting for Thompson. Inning number 5. He may remain in the outfield to play in left. Adcock tying run out second. Soft curve by Valdez. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Valdez appearing in his 4th ball game for Brooklyn. Tall, skinny right-hander. Goes a lot of sidearm stuff, goes a lot off the hip. Kicks and throws. There's an overhand fastball, and Covington rips it up the right field line, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 7-6 the score. With the Braves batting in the top half of inning number 5, Adcock doubled to left center field. He's on at second, representing the tying run for Milwaukee. Valdez ready with the 1-2 count. Pitches, swung on, a miss. Strike 3. Well, Covington batting for Thompson is struck out. Valdez. Coming on to pitch to the pinch hitter. Gets him to strike out. Now moving up there for Milwaukee is Johnny Logan, their fine shortstop. He's 0 for 2 this afternoon. He's flied to left, he's flied to center. Right-hand hitter. Adcock away from second base. Valdez throws a sidearm curve and brushes the hitter back. Ball 1. One ball and no strikes. Esther, some days you step out on that baseball diamond, it's just like stepping into a buzzsaw. The day is one of those days. Valdez delivers a sidearm curve. It's hit into left field for a base wrap. Adcock goes down to third. He's going to hold up there as Charlie Neal put a fine decoy on as though he were going to get that ball. Adcock had to wait and see. So it's an advance of just one base for Billy Joe as he moves down to third base on the single in the left. Hit by Logan. That'll be the first hit off Valdez. That'll be the 11th hit for Milwaukee. Now they have the tying run just 90 feet away with one out. Logan at first, Adcock at third. The batter will be Bill Bruton. And here's a fellow that has to be watched very closely. Very adept at the drag bunt down the first base side. He can also punch him down the third base side. And if Haney's of a mind, he could have this guy trying to squeeze that tying run in and go from there. The infield plays up a step or two. Valdez checks his runners, delivers. Bruton swings away on this pitch and hits a fly ball into right field. Carrillo over in right center waits for it. Adcock tags up. There's the catch. Here comes the throw, and it is not in time. Adcock scores to tie it up. And Logan on the play, tagging up, moving down to second. So Bruton gets it in with a sacrifice fly into right field. That run will be charged up to Besson. All tied, 7-7. Batter coming up now is Del Crandall, right-hand hitting catcher, and they're going to put him on. There's the signal out to put Crandall on at first base. And they'll go to Johnson. They'll pitch to Johnson. Ball 2, fired high and outside. Logan down at second base represents the tie-breaking run in the ball game. Braves have scored 1 so far in the 5th inning. 7-7. We've had 14 runs in this one, 21 base hits, and we're just in the top half of inning number 5. Yes, sir. Jerry, did you bring your lunch?
Well, I didn't bring it, but I'm going to send out for some.
Send out and get it, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, just you take it easy now and lean back and light up a lucky. Away we go. Johnson coming out now to be the batter. Had a couple of first games over in the National League. Cincinnati defeated Pittsburgh 6-2. Lawrence beating Arroyo. Cincinnati 6 runs, 11 hits, 3 errors. Pittsburgh 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. St. Louis beat Philadelphia 8-4. We'll tell you about that in a minute. Valdez is ready, and he pitches a curveball to Johnson, who goes more than halfway in his swing, and it's called against him. That's strike 1. St. Louis 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors. Merritt is the winner. Philadelphia 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. Miller the loser in relief of Simmons. The sidearm curveball, and Johnson after it hits it down along the left field line. It's a little looper. That's going to be in there for a base hit. Samoli chases. Here comes the run in to break the tie. And the throw comes back into second to keep Johnson to a single, with Crandall moving around to third on that blow. So Johnson crosses people up. loops a single into left field down along the line to score Logan from second base. That'll be hit number 2 off Valdez. This run is charged to Rene. So now he's on the hook. 8-7 in favor of the Braves. They're still up at bat. Danny O'Connell coming along with Crandall at third, Johnson at first. Time is called for the moment. Well, Tony Ryan talks to his runner at third. That's Crandall. 2 big runs have been scored for the Braves here in the 5th inning. 15 runs on 22 base hits, and we're still in the top of the 5th inning. That's the kind of a Donnybrook we got out here at Ebbets Field this afternoon. What was that? Yes, they are, Jerry, you're right. Danny O'Connell coming up to the plate. He had moved up there minus his hard hat. Forgotten about it, and then going back to try to find another one, finds that Johnson had used the one he usually comes up to the plate with, so he had to get it. Oh, Danny O'Connell. Starting the 4th batting go-round for the Braves. He's been up 3 times. He has 2 for 3. Single to center to first, single to left in the 4th. Forced a man in between those 2 singles. Runners at first and third. 2 down, the top of the 5th. The pitch. O'Connell takes it. That's over. That's strike 1. Down in the Brooklyn bullpen, left-hander Sandy Koufax is up and starting to throw. 8-7 Milwaukee. Rene Valdez, rookie right-hander, checks his runners, delivers that sidearm fastball, and it's low. O'Connell's count 1 ball and 1 strike. Lucky strike. Talking you the action from Ebbets Field. 8-7. That's how it stands in favor of the Braves. Top of the 5th inning, they're at bat, runners at first and third and 2 down. Valdez delivers, the pitch is swung on and hammered into center field for a base hit. In comes Crandall to make it 9-7, and Johnson is going to try to make it to third. The throw comes down to Charlie Neal, and he's got the ball waiting for him. O'Connell singles to center. He'll get the run batted in. Johnson being thrown out at third base by Duke Snyder. Well, let's see. Let's count up the damage here in the 5th inning. 3 runs for the Braves on 4 base hits. And there was a man left on. So no errors. The score at the end of 4.5 innings of play. It is the Braves 9. The Brooklyn Dodgers have 7. Jerry, you got something to say there?
Yes, sir. Hey, fans, I want to talk to you about something that interests me a good deal. The subject, Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. And what I want to say is this. Have you tried a Lucky lately? If not, you're missing a big thing. A Lucky is all cigarettes, all fine tobacco. Naturally good tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. So get with it. Light up a Lucky. You'll say it's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
For the taste that you like, light up a Lucky Strike. You'll say a Lucky's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Well, a wild one going. And Don Zimmer will start it off for the Dodgers, followed by Neal and then by Valdez, or a pinch hitter for him. The score, 9-7, Milwaukee out in front. Ernie Johnson now pitching for Milwaukee, and a replacement in the outfield. Wes Covington is playing in left field in place of Thompson. Covington hit for Thompson. So we move along to the last half of the 5th inning. Zimmer standing by and right back to play, and here again is Al.
Ernie Johnson was on the base paths and was the 3rd out in the top half of this 5th inning. They're giving him a chance to get the field on the mound. He did a little sliding down at third base, jolted him up a little bit. But he's all right, and he's ready to go. As we move into the last half of the 5th inning, it'll be Don Zimmer, who has 1 for 2. Zimmer singled to left field in the third inning, fouled out in the first inning to the catcher. Ernie Johnson, it's now his ball game to win it or lose it. Valdez is on the hook now for Brooklyn. Down comes the pitch to Zimmer, and he swings on it and fouls it back. Strike one. Sandy Koufax continues to throw down in the Brooklyn bullpen, and as much as Valdez is scheduled to be the third hitter in this inning, and Walter Alston may hit for him. Well, we'll know that in a few moments. Ernie Johnson starts that swinging, pumping motion of his. Delivers an overhand fastball. Zim bluffs the bunt, takes the pitch low outside. Ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball game really is seesawed back and forth. The Braves started right out in the first inning, picked up 2 runs. The Dodgers came roaring back in the last half of the first and scored 5 to take the lead 5-2. And then in the third inning, the Braves picked up another one to make it 5-3. Zimmer hits it down to third. Eddie Matthews digs it out of the dirt, rifles his shot across to Adcock at first, and Zimmer goes down. So 1 away in the last half of inning number 5. The batter coming up now will be, or should be, Charlie Neal. There he comes. Big Don Newcomb gets up and finds himself a bat, and he's going to hit for Valdez. Now let's see what happens with Charlie Neal. Slender right-hand hitter was walked in the first inning, singled to right in the third and scored a run. Takes a curve, good for a strike. Johnson fires away at that plate. Neal leans away from a curveball, and it slides away outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Charlie Neal. 1 out, the base is empty in the 5th. Milwaukee leads it 9-7. 16 runs. 23 base hits. And we're in the last half of the 5th inning. Johnson works again. Neal starts to go and changes his mind, takes the pitch low for ball 2. So we'll have Sandy Koufax on as the 4th pitcher for Brooklyn as we open the 6th inning. And Milwaukee goes to bat. Johnson's curveball reached for by Neal and missed. That's strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Neal waves that shillelagh back and forth. Johnson offers him a soft curve. It's swung on, foul tipped and held by Crandall for strike 3. The second out in the 5th inning as Johnson picks up his first strikeout. And Don Newcomb is coming up now to hit for Rene Valdez.
Don Newcomb, batting for Valdez.
Don Newcomb moving up to bat for Rene Valdez. Big left-hand hitter, and Johnson faces him. Delivers Newcomb after it. Hits a high pop-up into center field. Bill Bruton comes along, gets under it. He's got it. So that's it in the 5th inning for Brooklyn. They go down with nothing across. So at the end of 5 innings, it is Milwaukee 9 runs, 13 hits, 1 error, and Brooklyn 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error.
Sandy Koufax on now for the Dodgers. He becomes the 4th Brooklyn pitcher. Milwaukee has used 3, Buhl, Crone, and Johnson. The Dodgers have used Maglie, Busman, Valdez, and now Sandy Koufax. Hank Aaron 3 for 3 coming to bat, and here again for Lucky Strike, Al Helfer.
All right, Jerry. Sandy Koufax appearing in his 4th ball game. He started 1, relieved in the others. He's pitched 9 innings, and he has an 0-0 record. The first pitch comes down, and Aaron takes a look at it. It's in there for a strike. Aaron hit a home run in the 4th inning, a 3-run home run. He singled, he's doubled, and hit a home run. There have been a pair of home runs hit in the game. Koufax's soft curve is low. Aaron's count 1 ball and 1 strike. Roy Campanella hit a 3-run home run in the 1st inning. Dodgers had that 5-run uprising. And we've had 1 double play. ball game. So that should be good news for our Honor Hospital on this Lucky Strike broadcast. Pitch low to Aaron, ball 2. Our Honor Hospital is the VA hospital at West Haven, Connecticut. 19,000 Luckies have been earmarked for delivery to them. 16,000 have already been awarded. Pitch is swung on. Fouled back. That's strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So for all the folks at West Haven, Connecticut, VA Hospital, happy smoking. There'll be more coming the way this ball game's going, too. Koufax comes down with the 2-2 pitch. It's swung on and missed for strike 3. Great big change-up curveball. Well, that's all for Aaron. Matthews coming up. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodger Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO for the Brooklyn Dodgers games, and write to WOKO for the complete Dodger schedule of games at home and away. They're yours free for the asking, so be sure to give your name and address. Write baseball, WOKO, Albany, New York. It's 4 o'clock WOKO time.
Third baseman standing in. Koufax tries a fastball, and Matthews after it lifts a high one deep to center field, and Snyder backing up near the wall. Now comes forward a step, hauls it down. Oh, Matthews' first ball hitting becomes out number 2 in the 6th. That'll bring on Adcock. Adcock has rolled to short, he's slid to right, and he's doubled to left center. Here's 1 for 3. Batting .358. Koufax tries a curveball on him, and Adcock tries to get it and doesn't. That's strike 1. This Adcock's a strong fella. He's about big enough to go bear hunting with a buggy whip. The 0-1 pitch. Koufax lets up on the fastball and lays it in there for a strike. Adcock took a hitching swing and then let it sail by. No balls, 2 strikes. The count on Adcock. 2 down, top of the 6th. Bases empty. 9-7. Milwaukee leads Brooklyn. Koufax works a slow curve, and Adcock swings and misses strike 3. Almost broke his back trying to get that one. Well, Koufax becomes the first Dodger pitcher this afternoon to get more than 1 strikeout. Gets 2 of them here in the 6th inning. And for the first time this afternoon, the Braves go down with nothing across. The score at the end of 5.5 innings of play remains the Braves 9 and the Brooklyn Dodgers have 7. So let's slide over to the other microphone now because Jerry Doggett's got a word for us. Let's give him an ear.
Okay, Alan, it's going to be time out for another chat in the captain's corner, and here's the captain himself, Mr. Pee Wee Reed.
Today's game with the Milwaukee Braves is a big one to us for several reasons. First off, this is our first meeting of the season against them. Secondly, the Braves have gotten off to a great start, and if they aren't stopped soon, they are going to be a tough club to catch up to. They have a good sound ball club, good pitching, hitting, and defense. However, we have always felt that the Braves lack the confidence that a winner needs. If we can knock them off today and tomorrow, they'll be hurting. I think we can do it. We'll see.
Well, thanks, Captain Reese. Well, fans, we're just about to turn back to the game, so get set and light up a Lucky. Sure as Lucky's packed with fine tobacco, you'll say it's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Well, a real wild one going today. Milwaukee 9-13-1, Brooklyn 7-10-1, and the trend was set in the first inning. At the end of 1, we had a 5-2 ball game. Last of the 6th, Jim Gilliam stepping in, so let's get right back to play, and here again is Al.
Jim Gilliam has been up 3 times. He doubled in that big first inning to left field, then flied to left and struck out. Facing Johnson now, who came on in the 4th inning. So this is his first time up against Ernie. Down comes the pitch, and Gilliam runs up and bluffs the bunt and takes the pitch outside for ball 1. That had Matthews coming in quickly from third base. Johnson leaning forward, getting his sign from Captain Crandall. Now the 1-0 delivery on Gilliam. He swings on the pitch and lifts a high fly ball into right field. Going over for it is Aaron, calling for it, and he's got it. Well, Gilliam flies out. Right fielder Hank Aaron in right center. Coming up to the plate now is Gino Cimoli. Cimoli has one base hit to his credit this afternoon. Got a single up the middle in the third inning. He's rolled out to second base and hit a line shot right into the waiting hands of then left fielder Thompson. Morse Covington's out there now, as Jerry told you. Covington hit for Thompson in the fifth and stayed right in. So the picket line for the Braves has Covington in left field, Bruton in center field, and Hank Aaron in right field. Ernie Johnson ready to go to work now on Cimoli. Gino batting at 271. He starts to go for the pitch and lays off it, and the curve is in anyway for the strike. No balls and one strike to count on Gino Cimoli. Last half of the sixth inning. Johnson's curveball is into the dirt and gets all the way through to the backstop for ball one. 1-1 on Gino. Johnson starts his motion for the 1-1 delivery. Throws a curve in there, and Cimoli backs off and takes it inside. 2-1. Gino is looking for his 20th base hit of the year. He has 19 of them tucked away. This is his 71st time up. He certainly got off with a rush. Johnson comes into him with a fastball, and Gino after doesn't get it. Strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A few minutes ago, everybody was hitting the ball. That's kind of dwindled off. 9-7 the score. Milwaukee leads Brooklyn. We've had a total of 23 hits in the ball game. Milwaukee's had 13. Brooklyn has had 10. We've had 2 home runs. Hank Aaron hit a 3-run home run in the fourth for Milwaukee, and Roy Campanella hit his 4th home run of the year, a 3-run affair in the first inning. Curveballs high and tight to Cimoli. That'll run the full count of 3-2. One out, nobody on. Dodgers hitting in the last half of the 6th inning. Johnson 3-2's the plate. Cimoli swings and doesn't get a curve outside. Tried to check himself, but he was too late. That's second out. Johnson has his second strikeout, and that'll bring along Duke Snider as the Dodger batter. Stepping up to see what he can do now for 26,599 paid customers. Snider has 1 base hit in 3 tries. He was a base runner in the first on an error and scored a run. Pitch is high and away from the Duke for ball 1. And Snider singled up the middle in the second, stole second base, and died there. When after Ferrillo walked Hodges hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Tapped back to the mound to retire the side in the third. Johnson works him again with a curveball, and that stays outside. That's ball 2. 2-0 on the Duke. Snider batting at 267. 9-7, Milwaukee leading Brooklyn. Johnson tries again, and Snider waves at this one, doesn't get it. Strike 1. At the end of this 6th inning, Jerry will run down the Lucky Strike scoreboard for us and give us all of the action and activity of the day. Johnson comes down 2-1. Snider swings on a pitch and fouls it off a handle back to the screen for the strike. 2-2 on Snider. Plate umpire Tony Venzen. New ball out to the mound of Johnson. Snider waiting patiently. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. The pitch to Snider, called strike 3. He checked his swing up, but the curve was in there anyway. Well, Johnson's starting to get rough. That's his third strikeout. He's picked up 2 here in the 6th inning. Nothing across for Brooklyn. Score at the end of 6. It's the Braves 9 and the Dodgers have 7. Well, Jerry, from that Lucky Strike scoreboard, what do you find out elsewhere?
Well, Al, we've got a couple of games already over. In the first game of a twin bill, Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh 6-2 on 6, 11, and 3. Pittsburgh 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Lawrence the winner. Arroyo was the loser. Clemente had a home run for Pittsburgh. In the second was none on. St. Louis, Philadelphia, first game is over. The Cardinals won it 8-4 on 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors. The Phils 4 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. Merritt the winner. Miller was the loser. That's the first of a doubleheader. In the first of 2, the Cubs and the Giants. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, the Cubs with Rush and Drott against Barclay lead the Giants 3-1. In the American League, at the end of 6.5 innings of play, the Yankees lead the White Sox 4-1 in the first of a doubleheader, with Chance going against Pierce. Mantle a home run in the 4th with 1 on his 3rd of the year. And Boston beat Cleveland 5-1 behind Will Nixon. The loser was Bob Lemon. McLeish and Tomanek also worked for Cleveland. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Boston. 1, 12, and 1 for Cleveland. Baltimore and Detroit at the end of 5.5 innings of play, all tied 1-1. Washington, Kansas City, the A's lead 2-0 at the end of 3. And that's the roundup on the Lucky Strike scoreboard, Al. So let's go right back to play and back to you.
All right, Jerry. Wes Covington coming up for his second at-bat. He batted for Thompson, if you recall, in the 5th inning. Struck out. Left-hand hitter goes for the first pitch and doesn't get it. Koufax wraps it in there. That's strike 1. On the air, Covington is 0 for 3 as a batsman. Pretty well put together guy. Holds that bat way down with the knob. Koufax curve is into the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Covington made as if to try to chop a bunt and laid off the pitch. Sandy Koufax, the 4th of the Dodger pitchers, delivers 1-1, a fastball, and Covington leans back and takes it across the chest. That's ball 2. Covington aware of number 43, leaning over the plate. Koufax 2-1 pitch is a fastball, swung on and missed for strike 2. Sandy monkeying around a little bit on the mound now, gets himself set. Loads up the gun and pulls the trigger. The pitch is fastball, laid right under the chin. Now it's a full count on Wes Covington, leading off here in the 7th. 9-7 the score. The Braves have recaptured the lead. They held it for a brief spell in the beginning of the ball game. 2-0, and then the Dodgers came to bat in the first and smothered them. Fastball over for strike 3 call. Koufax starts to pour him in. That's his 3rd strikeout. Johnny Logan coming to bat now has had 1 base hit in 3 tries. He's flied to left and center and has singled to left. Koufax doing pretty well. Has 14 strikeouts and 10 in the 3rd innings. Working for that fast one, and as he does right now, and the pitch is swung on and missed for a strike, and Logan almost lost the hard hat. No balls, 1 strike. The 0-1 delivery, an overhand let-up pitch is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, top of the 7th, no base runners. Braves leading by 2 runs. They have 9. The Dodgers have 7. Koufax leaning forward, gets his sign from Campanella. Comes in with a big curveball, and that's a little under the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. Logan batting at .242. Koufax works right back, and Logan backs off from a fastball at the knees, takes ball 3. Three and 1. Sandy ready. 3-1 pitch. Logan takes high inside, ball 4. First base on ball is given up by Koufax, and it's the second walk the Braves have picked up today. Valdez walked one man, if you recall. That was an intentional affair to Crandall. Right now, Billy Bruton. He's had 2 base hits for 2 official tries. He's had 1 run batted in. That came on a sacrifice fly to right field in the 5th inning, which the Braves picked up 3 to go ahead 9-7. Now Koufax on the runner, looks down and pitches to Bruton, who tries to bunt and misses the pitch for strike 1. Charlie Neal playing up so close he could almost shake hands with Bruton. They're expecting that Billy may be trying to drop one down. Move Logan down to second. Sky Haney's a great fella to play for that insurance run. Koufax ready. Comes in, and there is the bunt. It's popped foul off to the right of the plate. Can't be digging. He can't get to it. Little popper just out of the reach and foul ground of Roy Campanella. That'll be strike 2 now on Bruton. The infield will probably move back a step or 2 now. Yet this year, I think we've all seen more bunt attempts with strike 2 on a batter than we have prior to now. Bruton, the left-hand hitter, very good, dragging that bunt down the first base line. Well, Hodges will be on his toes, despite the fact there are 2 strikes on Bruton. He leans back from a fastball, fired right across the bridge of the nose. That's ball 1. Thank you, Tony. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Billy Bruton. Gave no indication of the bunt that time. He looks down to Connie Ryan, coaching down at third now. Connie's relaying the signs from Fred Haney on the bench. Koufax shaking off Campanella. Now accepts the second set of signs flashed to him. Delivers 1-2, and the pitch is swung on by Bruton. Laced out to left field. Samoli going into the corner, trying to get the range on it. And in foul ground, makes the catch. And Logan has to tag back up at second and hurry back to first. He had already gotten around second base. Samoli just doesn't give up on him. He went right into the bullpen of the Braves, all the down. Well, that's the second out here in the top half of the 7th inning, and the batter coming up now will be Del Crandall, Braves catcher. 9-7 the score. That's in favor of Milwaukee. Milwaukee scored twice in the first, once in the third, 3 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth, while the Dodgers scored 5 runs in the first and 2 in the 7th. So we haven't had any scores in this ball game since the 5th inning. Koufax delivers now to Crandall. It's way high. Campanella way upstairs. Has the ball slip off his mitts, get away from him, and Logan takes advantage and goes down to second base on the wild pitch. That's the first wild pitch we've had this afternoon. Buhl, Cronin, Johnson have all been on the line for Milwaukee. Maglie, Besson, Valdez, and now Koufax for Brooklyn. Ball 1 is a count on Crandall, with Logan at second base and 2 down, top of the 7th inning. 9-7 Milwaukee. Koufax checks his runner, delivers an overhand curve, and Crandall takes this one high up for the cap. Time is called by Charlie Neal. Red rubber ball has gotten out of the stands on the field. Joukowsky takes it from Neal and puts it in his pocket. 2 balls, no strikes. That's the count on Crandall. 2 down. And the wide one thrown way outside. They're going to apparently put Crandall on now. They've gotten behind to him. That's ball 3. Yep, they're going to put him on. There'll be an intentional ball 4. They'll pitch to Johnson. Well, Crandall for the second time has been walked intentionally. He was walked intentionally in the fifth inning, and Johnson crossed everybody up by hitting a single in the left field. And by driving in a run. A second walk given up by Koufax. Runners at first and second. Johnson moving on as a hitter. Gets that 6'3" frame of his all grounds down into a crouch. Koufax tries the fastball, and Johnson waves at it, loses his hat. Strike one. Logan at second, Crandall at first. Braves still kicking her heels up here in the top of the seventh inning. Koufax delivers. Johnson takes. Called strike two. Right at the knees. Koufax already again. Comes in with a pitch. Swung on a miss. Strike three. Well, Sandy gets himself in a little trouble in the seventh inning, but gets out of it. Picks up two more strikeouts here in the inning. Gives him a total of 4. No runs. There were no base hits for Milwaukee. 2 walks, left 2 men on. Score at the end of 6 1/2 innings of play. It's Milwaukee 9 and the Brooklyn Dodgers have 7. Well, say, fans, what do you say we listen in on some thoughts as expressed by a Dodger fan who, incidentally, is also a lucky smoker? Okay? Let's go.
Well, lucky 7th. Time for all the hometown fans to stand up and be counted. I guess I'll do likewise. Stretch way out. Oh, boy, that feels good. Now, where are my luckies? Fresh pack. Nothing like it. Lucky 7th and a lucky strike. Oh, boy, that's great. They're not just talking when they say luckies taste better. I'll tell you how much better. You light one up. You'll say a Lucky's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Little hand clapping music by Miss Gladys Goodings at the console of the organ here at Ebbets Field. The 7th inning stretch is over, and the Brooklyn Dodgers about to come to bat in the last half of the 7th inning with Carrillo, Hodges, and Campanella. Ernie Johnson, this is his ball game to win it or lose it. Out on the mound for Milwaukee. We're doing their doggonedest here this afternoon to stay in front of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Should they win this ball game today, Milwaukee will step out in front of Brooklyn by 2 games. And if they should lose it, it'll be a flat-footed tie between the Dodgers and the Braves. So there's a lot at stake here. Carl Furillo. 1 hit in 2 drives. Single up the middle. He's walked and he's popped to short. Johnson delivers. Carl rips it down the left field line, and it's foul by about 2 feet. Carl got a hold of that all right. Hold it just a little bit too much. Furillo's batting percentage is standing at .276. Big, tall right-hander Ernie Johnson, as he signed out from Crandall, looks down to Furillo, delivers to him 0-1, and Carl swings on the pitch and fouls it back right under our microphone. Furillo measuring off at home plate, beats the meat end of the bat down on the rubber of home plate, digs his feet in. Johnson has the count of 2 strikes on him. Now he pitches a sidearm curve. Carl swings and doesn't get it. Strike 3. That's the 4th strikeout for Johnson. First out in the 7th inning for Brooklyn. The batter coming up now is Hodges. A single to left center. Has a run driven in. He's hit into a double play, and he's rolled ashore. By the way, if you're on the highway driving, listening to the ball game, please be careful. We like to have you in our audience, and we want you to stay there. Following Hodges' turn at bat, we'll have a chance to duck in a station break. Johnson delivers. Hodges swings, hits a two-hopper to shortstop. Logan digs it out of the dirt, fires over to Adcock at first, and Hodges is out. 2 down. Campy coming up. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
Dial 1460 WOKO for the Brooklyn Dodgers games, and write to WOKO for the complete Dodgers schedule of games at home and away. They're yours free for the asking, so be sure to give your name and address. Write baseball, WOKO, Albany, New York. 4:29 WOKO time.
Roy Campanella hit a 3-run home run in the first inning. He's been silent since that time. He has 1 for 3. Johnson curves him, and Campy after it hits a bounding ball down to Matthews, who juggles it off his glove, picks up and throws in time for the out. Just in time, a high throw. Joe Adcock went upstairs to get it. All 3 outs in the 7th inning. Nothing across for Brooklyn, and the score at the end of 7 full innings of play. The Braves, 9 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. Brooklyn, 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. Jerry?
Well, fans, don't forget our sensational 2-for-1 bargain sale of the 1957 Dodger Yearbook and the new Schaefer Lucky Strike Baseball Guide. Both these swell books for only 50 cents. For you folks who haven't heard about the sale of sales, listen to this. The 1957 Dodger Yearbook, complete with 48 pages of anecdotes, stories, and pictures. Plenty of pictures of the Dodgers. And the brand new Schaefer Lucky Strike Baseball Guide and Record Book, crammed full of all-time records, team rosters, diagrams of the ballpark, radio TV directories of all the major league teams, and much, much more. Both these baseball books can be yours for only $50. Here's how to get yours. Send 50 cents along with your name and address to Dodger Baseball Books, Box 119, Brooklyn, New York. Dodger Baseball Books, Box 119, Brooklyn, New York. You know, both these books usually sell for 50 cents apiece, so what you waiting for? Remember, the offer is being made for a limited time only, so send for yours right away. Top of the 8th inning, top of the batting order for Milwaukee. O'Connell, Aaron, and Matthews in a 9-7 ball game. So back to action. Here again for Lucky Strike, Al Helfer.
All right, Jared. Danny O'Connell has had 3 for 4 this afternoon as the leadoff man for the Braves. He's moved up from 238 to 254 in his batting average. Takes the first pitch from Koufax inside for ball 1. O'Connell, right-hand hitter. Koufax works into him, and O'Connell after it punches it back foul for strike 1. Draw from the crowd on the play in the stands on that foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Danny O'Connell leading off for the Braves in the 8th. They're leading 9-7 in the ball game. You're looking ahead to the last half of the 8th inning. It'll be Zimmer, Neal, and the pitcher's spot coming up for Brooklyn. Koufax has gotten his sign now from Campanella. Works the plate on the 1-1 count and fires the fastball knee high for strike 2. Campanella holds the mid up as a target. The 1-2 delivery by Koufax. Fastball hit back foul again. Count stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nice crowd of 26,599 here this afternoon to see this one. Hope you're making your plans to be with us tomorrow night when these two teams tee off against each other. Time of the ball game is 8 o'clock. We'll be with you on the air at 7:55. Drysdale is scheduled to go against Lou Burdett. Koufax's curve is low to the plate. On a ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Plenty of seats available for tomorrow night. And for Tuesday and Wednesday night with the Cincinnati Reds. O'Connell slugs a foul ball off the first base side. That'll go to the second tier out of play. Count rides on at 2 balls, 2 strikes. The first man up for the Braves here in the 8th inning. 9-7 the count in the ball game. Milwaukee leading Brooklyn. Koufax looking around, checking his outfield. Now he's set. The 2-2 pitch to O'Connell. Soft curve, and Danny fouls this one back to the screen. It rolls right up past us. Hit the gong, didn't it, Alan? Two balls, 2 strikes. O'Connell up there. Aaron on deck, the batter's circle. Koufax comes in with the 2-2 pitch, fastball. This one's punched foul to the crowd, off to the right of the plate. Still 2-2. And that second game between St. Louis and Philadelphia at the end of 2.5. It's 0-0. Cincinnati-Pittsburgh at the end of 1 of their nightcap, 0-0. Cincinnati took Pittsburgh 6-2 in the first game. St. Louis beat Philadelphia 8-4. Soft curve inside off the fist to O'Connell. That's ball 3. Full count. Now Sandy's 3-2 pitch to O'Connell. Fastball, Danny fouls it away. Still a 3-2 count as O'Connell turns and asks the Milwaukee bat boy for a little rosin put on the handle of the bat. Used to be they had a rosin bag. Now they carry just a little bit of rosin. Done up in a paste. In a bottle. Smeared on the handle of the bat, and that's it. 3-2 pitch. Swung on. There's a high pop foul. Campanella comes back to make the play near the Braves dugout. Can he get it? Right at the steps, he makes the catch. O'Connell has finally gotten out of there. Foul ball to Campanella. Got first out in the 8th inning. The White Sox and the Yankees have played 7 innings of their game. First one, the Yankees are leading 4-1. The White Sox. Hank Aaron up at the plate now for Milwaukee. Takes a slow curve. It floats in and over for a strike. The Yankees are having quite a battle, too, with those White Sox. Get possession of first place in the American League. Koufax fastball, shoulder high outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Koufax shaking off Campanella. Now comes in 1-1, and Aaron, after the pitch, hits a high foul ball. It squirts up into the stands. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Utility outfielder Andy Pafko goes down to the Braves bullpen to throw, so he'll be coming in the ball game. Koufax making ready now to pitch to Hank Aaron, who has singled, doubled, and homered and struck out. 408 his batting percentage as he fouls this one off. John stays 1-2. Aaron came in here leading the league in home runs. Tied with Sauer, 5. Adcock also had 5. But Aaron had 26 base hits to lead everybody. Had a 388 batting percentage, and he now has 408. He's the guy who led the National League last year, percentage-wise. Take a look at him. You wonder where he gets his power, but he's got it. swings on this pitch and rips it out into center field for a base hit. Snyder up to play it on the skip. And Aaron is on. He's had quite a day for himself. 2 singles, a double, a home run in 5 times up. That, incidentally, is the first base hit off Koufax. That'll be the Braves' 14th. We've had 24 base hits in the ball game. 16 runs. The Braves are leading at 9-7. Starting to try to dig in here in the 8th inning. Eddie Matthews up. He struck out. He singled to center. He's lined to second, and he's flied to center. Matthews batting at .242. Looks at a high let-up pitch. That's ball 1. Left-hand hitter. Zimmer at shortstop goes over a couple of steps towards second. The first base occupied. They don't put the overshift on for Eddie. Pitch to him, swung on, popped back foul. This will carry to the stands and go out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, 1 on, top of the 8th inning. Hank Aaron just ripped a single into center field. Standing at first base with Hodges holding the corner on him. Koufax, the 4th of the Brooklyn pitchers, stand out there in the sunlight, toiling away. Hank Aaron leading off at first. Matthews waiting on the 1-1 delivery. Instead, a throw to first base to keep Aaron close. Now Koufax settles down. Delivers a plate and overhand fastball. Swung on a miss by Matthews for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Milwaukee third baseman. He'll be followed by Joe Adcock. Another mean guy with the wood. These Braves have power. Packed in that batting order. Right here in a bunch. Aaron, Matthews, Adcock. 1-2 pitch. Swung on a miss. Strike 3. Well, Matthews goes out of there. That's second out in the inning. And for Koufax, his 5th strikeout. Sandy came along in the 6th inning. Pitched the 6th, the 7th, and has pitched 2/3 of the 8th. So in 2 2/3 innings, Sandy has walked 2 men. Both of them, one of them intentionally. And has struck out 5. Adcock, the batter, swung on. There's a high drive to right field. Tofferillo goes over and sees the ball crack off the wall. Coming up the plate is Gilliam, the second baseman. He's up with the ball, makes his throw into the plate, and Hank Aaron has to stop at third. That ball ricocheted back off the right field wall so far that Gilliam, the second baseman, was able to go out, grab the carom, whirl, and make the play back to the plate to Campanella on a fine throw. And Aaron had to hold up at third base. Adcock legging it into second with a stand-up double. Well, Koufax hit number 2, hit number 15 for Milwaukee. We've had 25 base hits in the ball game. Now let's see. Coming up to the plate will be Covington, or are we going to have someone hit for it? No, it's going to be Andy Pafko, apparently. They're putting Pafko probably in left field as a defensive measure. They're going to give him a chance to get up there and swing a bat. So Pafko comes on to hit for Covington. Got a right-hand hitter in there against a left-hand pitcher. There's the announcement for him.
Milwaukee, number 48, Andy Pafko.
Andy Pafko has been at bat in the league just 2 times prior to this one. He's 0 for 2 and has no batting percentage. What a player this fellow has been over his span of years in the league. Chicago, here with the Braves. Going to have a runner. Looks like Mantilla, yeah. Mantilla is coming out to run for Adcock at second base. So that means we'll probably have Frank Torrey in as the Braves' first baseman when the Dodgers come to bat in the 8th.
Felix Mandela running for Hancock.
So Fred Haney's going for the marbles. Mantilla at second base running for Adcock. The pitch is low and outside. Campanella can't hold it up. Hank Aaron comes charging in on the wild pitch. And Mantilla moves down to third base. Well, Sandy has one get away from him. Now the Braves are leading it by 10-7 score. Second wild pitch for Koufax. His first run scored off the young fella. Mantilla running for Adcock is now at third. Count on Pafko is ball 1. Koufax throws the fastball, and that's low and outside, and Campy holds this one up. 2 balls, no strikes. Andy Pafko batting for Wes Covington, who batted for Thompson in the 5th inning and then went on in to play left field in the bottom of the 5th. Mantilla stepping off at third base. Bluff's coming in as Koufax delivers the fastball, and it's low. That's ball 3. There is no action down in the Brooklyn bullpen. 10-7. That's the score in favor of Milwaukee. So the Dodgers have a deficit of 3 runs to make up so far in 2 innings. Koufax delivers. Pafko backs off the fastball, but that's in for a strike. 3-1. And he waits. Mantilla down from third. The 3-1 pitch. Pafko swings on it and fouls it right back to the screen in front of us. That's a 3-2 count. Despite the fact that you know a screen is up there, you still do a little ducking, don't you, Jerry? See that ball come spinning back at you. 3-2 count on Andy Pafko. 2 down. 1 run has been scored here in the 8th inning. The Braves are leading 10-7. 27 runs we've had. 17 runs we've had here this afternoon on 25 base hits. Koufax delivers. The pitch is high outside. Ball 4. So Pafko draws the base on balls. That's the 3rd of Koufax. 2 of his own making. 1 has been ordered. And the batter now is Logan. He walked Logan in the 7th. Johnny has 1 for 3 this afternoon. Got a single to left field in the 5th inning. Runners at first and third and 2 down. Koufax delivers. Logan swings and punches it foul. That one races up the screen and kicks off into the crowd off to the right of the plate. No balls, 1 strike. Up again is Elston. Blonde side-arming right-hander. Brooklyn Dodgers. Hasn't been in the ball game this year. He's up throwing now and may see action. Pitcher spot comes up in the last half of the 8th inning, and manager Alston may hit for Koufax. Sandy leans forward now, gets his sign. The runners lead away. Down comes the pitch, swung on. There's a high fly ball kicking foul off the right field line. That'll carry into the stands out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. Count on Johnny Logan. Milwaukee shortstop. Bruton hanging around, hoping that Logan saves him another time at bat. Koufax ready, checks his runners, looks at Pafko at first base, and checks up with Mantilla running for Adcock at third. Now Sandy's ready. The 0-2 pitch. Logan backs off and takes a fastball inside off the knees. Ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sandy going for the rosin bag. Jerry, let you and I go for that pack of Luckies, huh?
I'd say it's light-up time, Al, right now.
Okay, here we go. Koufax delivers a soft curve, and that stays high. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mantilla, skinny fella, stepping off at third. Andy Pafko, the veteran, moving away from first. Koufax, young fella, delivers. The pitch is swung on. There's a high fly ball hit into short left center field. Duke Snyder comes in, calls for it, and hauls it down. Well, that's all in the 8th inning, except for the wild pitch. They got a run in. Sandy was doing all right. 1 run. There were 2 base hits. 2 men were left on. 1 wild pitch, there were no errors. Score at the end of 7.5 innings of play. It's the Braves 10, and the Brooklyn Dodgers have 7. Well, let's listen to Jerry for a minute now.
Well, Al, the time is about 10 minutes to 5 here in Brooklyn, and it's light-up time. Time to light up a Lucky. So scratch a match, stretch out, and get set to enjoy the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Lucky Strike. You know, fans, the Lucky's tops in any league, and no wonder. It's all cigarettes, packed firm with nothing but fine, naturally good-tasting tobacco. Tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. You bet. Make your next pack Lucky Strike. See if you don't say a Lucky's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Well, the ball game rolls along to the last half of the 8th inning. A couple of changes for Milwaukee. Andy Pafko now playing out in left field, and Frank Torrey is playing at first base in place of Joe Adcock. The Dodgers will have Zimmer, Neal, and then the pitcher spot, and we have now Kenny Lehman and Don Elston working in the bullpen for Brooklyn. So let's get back to action, and here again is Al.
Don Zimmer coming up to the plate has 1 base hit for 3 times up. He singled to left field in the 3rd inning. That single came in between a foul out to the catcher and a ground out to third base. Zimmer batting at 274. Johnson, who has been putting the handcuffs on the Dodgers since his having come on, about ready to go. Making his first appearance this year. Johnson delivers and Zimmer swings on the pitch and bounces a foul up along the third base side. Strike 1. Ten runs, 15 hits, and 1 error for Milwaukee. 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for Brooklyn. It's been a wild and woolly affair this afternoon at Ebbets. Boy, and tomorrow night's affair promises to be something. You want to be with us now. Curveball swung on by Zim and missed. That's strike 2. Johnson drying off the fingers of his pitching hand. Looks down to Crandall now and is ready to go to Zim. Delivers him 0-2, and it's outside for ball 1. Johnson, tall, gangly right-hander. Delivers an overhand curve, and Zimmer, trying to get away from the pitch, has it hit the bat and trickle away. A ball and 2 strikes. Dodgers batting last half of the 8th inning. 10-7 in favor of Milwaukee. Johnson in the swinging, pumping motion. Now delivers to the plate, and Zimmer takes a pitch right up there by the peak of the cap. He had to hit the dirt that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zim lost no time in spinning back out and away from that one. The pitcher's standing out in the sunlight now, and the batter and home plate in the shadows, so the pitcher's coming from the sunlight into the shadows. That makes it particularly hard to see. 2-2 pitch. Curveball over the fist, called strike 3. Zimmer says something and then just keeps on moving back to the Dodger dugout. Johnson picks up his 5th strikeout. Johnson came on to pitch in the 4th inning. He's pitched the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and now pitching the 8th. This is his 5th inning of relief. On 4 in the third innings, he struck out 5 men. Pretty good job of it his first time out. On to Charlie Neal now, and Charlie, after the first pitch, hits one wide of third. Matthews out, picks up, throws to first to Frank Torrey. Neal is out. 2 men up, 2 men down in the last half of the 8th inning. And now let's see if it isn't going to be Ambrose coming up to bat for Sandy Koufax. That's right. Sandy Ambrose batting in the 8th.
For the Dodgers, number 15, Sandy Ambrose.
Koufax is through after 3 innings of ball. Koufax being hit for by Ambrose, who takes the first pitch low and outside for ball 1. Don Elston puts his jacket on. It looks as though he's going to get a chance to pitch the 9th inning against the Braves. Coming down to the Dodger dugout. Sandy Ambrose, little left-hand hitter. Johnson curves him, and the pitch is high. That's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Ambrose is batting at .667. He's been used only as a pinch hitter. He has 2 for 3. Has driven in 1 run with a home run. Johnson works him 2-0, and Ambrose lets the pitch go by, and that's in for a strike. 2-1. 2-1 delivery. Ambrose takes the curveball, and that's in. Strike 2. Sandy started to go for it and changed his mind. He's after the next pitch and hits a high chopper down first baseline. Torrey's got it. Races over, steps on first base just ahead of Ambrose for the putout. So that's it in the 9th inning. 8th inning. For the Brooklyn Dodgers, nothing across. And the score at the end of 8 full innings of play. It's Milwaukee 10, and the Brooklyn Dodgers have 7. Now let's get over to Jerry before we get into the top half of the 9th inning. He's got some other scores for us.
Okay, Al, on the Lucky Strike scoreboard at the end of 9, it's all tied. Cubs and Giants 3 apiece. And Cincinnati won the first game from Pittsburgh 6-2. The second game 3-1 at the end of 4. The Redlegs out in front. St. Louis beat Philadelphia 8-4 in the first game. No score at the end of 4.5 in the second game. And the Yankees beat the White Sox 4-2 in the first game. Second game, no report. Boston beat Cleveland 5-1 in the first of 2. The second game, Boston leads 1-0 at the end of 1.5. Detroit beat Baltimore 3-1 in a single game, and Kansas City leads Washington 5-0 at the end of 6 innings of play. That's the report on the Lucky Strike scoreboard. A reminder, fans, these same 2 clubs play again here tomorrow at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. The Dodgers and the Milwaukee Braves in Game 2 of the series. Still plenty of tickets on sale, and they'll be available up until game time tomorrow night. So make your plans to come on out and see the ball game. Plenty of seats for tomorrow night's game between the Dodgers and the Milwaukee Braves. Don Elston on now to do the pitching for the Dodgers. Top of the 9th inning, so let's go right back to Al.
This will be Don Elston's first appearance for the Dodgers in this young 1957 season. Tall, skinny, blonde right-hander. He makes the first pitch to Billy Bruton and cracks it in there for a strike. He was plagued by a sore arm the last couple of years, and apparently has pitched his way out of it. Bill Bruton batting at .293. This afternoon, he has had 2 base hits for 3 tries. Elston pumps, delivers, throws the fastball inside off the knees, and Bruton jumps back to take ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Bill Bruton. Del Crandall will follow, and then will come pitcher Johnson. As soon as we find out what happens with Bruton, we'll have a chance for station identification. So we'd like to alert everybody around the network. Elston ready, takes his sign. Right-hander delivers a soft curve. It's hit on a line down past third and out into the corner. Bruton is on his way to second and pulls up there with a 2-bagger. Sort of reached for it and poked it out over third. So it's a hit off Elston. We'll pause now for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodger Radio Network.
Peter Tripp plays the nation's best-selling record.
Dial 1460 WOKO Albany. WOKO for the Brooklyn Dodgers games, and write to WOKO for the complete Dodger schedule of games at home and away.
Slide to center and has twice been walked intentionally, so he's 0 for 2. Hitting at 296. Always a dangerous guy with the wood. Elston Reddy checks that runner at second, delivers fastball, ripped through there for a strike. I can remember seeing Don Elston pitch for the Chicago Cubs back in 1953. He pitched in only 2 games. He had an 0-1 record. And he was up on that Chicago staff at that time in the last couple of weeks of the season. Toting a sore arm with him then. Sidearm fastball, hit foul off the first base side to the second tier. Young fella's had his ups and downs, too. Young fella had a major operation a few years back. Took out quite a bit of his intestines. Sort of a gritty guy. Checks his runner at second, delivers. The pitch is just off outside, knee high for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Is the count on Del Crandall. His curveball swung on and missed for strike 3. Nelson really broke that one off. And as soon as he pokes his nose out of the Braves dugout, he gets a round of applause. He's pitched quite a ball game for the Braves this afternoon. Struck out Crandall. Now he's working on Johnson. Pitches, and Johnson trying to squeeze in, pops it up, and Nelson says, "I'll take it," and he does. Oh, the attempted squeeze wasn't one of those suicide affairs. Popped up, and Nelson takes it for the second out. Bruton remaining right there at third. Now with 2 down, Bruton at third base. The batter is Danny O'Connell. Hander delivers 1 and 2, and Gilliam out into right field. Coming on fast for it is Aaron, and he's got it. Big curve, and Gino. High fly ball hit into left field. Coming in for it, Sandy Popko, and drops the ball. Came on and called for it, and then couldn't quite get up to it. Rosamoli gets a base hit. Left field, and a high fly ball. That's the first hit off Johnson. He put 16 men down in order. Snyder walks. That pushes Samoli down to second. Left field, Andy Papko coming on for it. Makes a sliding catch of it. And the runners have to duck back in. Logan backs up, grabs it, goes the short way to O'Connell to force Snyder, and that retires the side and ends the ball game. So no runs, 1 hit. 2 men left on for Brooklyn. They stranded 7 today. Well, that does it. The Braves come in and win the first game in here at Ebbets Field. Johnson being congratulated.